I accidentally proposed during New Year's Eve, and now I want the ring back.
Yeah, it's too late.
I'm seeing someone else and wanted to break up with her. That's how you're starting this? Okay. I bought the ring for a work colleague, wasn't planning to propose until the holiday we planned. By the way, this comes from user proper mistake regret, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon,
I'm Carly.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you do in the comments. Pretty please. During New Year's Eve, I proposed to my girlfriend. It's been posted on my friend's social media, my girlfriend's social media, and everywhere else. I saw people proposing, so I wanted to go with the flow and propose to my girlfriend whilst partially pissed. Can I get the ring back and cancel the engagement, please? We have some comments.
What?
Right? What is this?
So he was seeing somebody else.
Yes.
But proposed because everybody else was doing it.
Yeah.
And now, like, really doesn't want to.
And now you're upset with your decision to do this.
Yeah, I say boohoo, break up with her, let her keep the dang ring.
I say,
Sucks to suck.
what are you doing? Top comment here by Deleted. Not been bothering with, online over the holidays, but it's nice to come back to an early nominee for stupidest post of the year, especially so early on. Let me check if I got this straight. You were planning proposing to a work colleague when you go on holiday, despite the fact you're still seeing someone you class as your girlfriend. However, in a twist of fate, you took the engagement ring out with you on New Year's Eve. Either that, or you took the wrong girlfriend out. Either way, mistakes were made. And those mistakes were compounded when you got caught up in the heat of the other people's affection and proposed to your wrong girlfriend.
Crazy thing, though, is that, like, honestly, it's kind of crazy to me that she said yes then. Because that just implies that they actually were, like, probably pretty deep into a relationship and probably had, like, potentially talked about this before.
I'm also thinking potentially, because it's New Year's Eve, a little bit of, adult beverages were involved and excitement, but still, besides the fact.
You're gross, dude.
Yeah. And now you want legal advice on whether you can get the ring back so you don't have to buy another ring and can instead give your intended fiance your accidental fiance's ring? Well, from a legal perspective, you're crap out of luck because a gift is a gift, even when you give a gift from a moron. However, there is a solution. Tell your current/accidental fiance about the mistake. Honesty may actually be your best policy here because I suspect that the realization that you are such an utter fungus of a person will lead her to take the ring off and fling it.
Yeah, honestly true. I think the only way you're getting that ring back is by actually telling her that you're cheating on her.
What if she's into it? She's like, you're gross. I want to marry you more. If you're lucky, you may be able to find it and then can give your ex-fiancé sloppy seconds to your bit on the side. And what a lucky girl she will be. Another relevant comment here by Dusty Pilgrim. Legally, the ring belongs to, drumroll, her. Unless you place conditions on it when giving it to her. If you were so wasted that you lacked legal capacity to make a gift, then that could be grounds for getting it back. Realistically, unless the ring cost a fortune, lawyers aren't going to get involved and you will have to resolve this between you. OP responds with, I spent about $1,800 on the ring and I can't get it back? What's legal capacity? I wouldn't be able to drive in terms of how wasted I was. I effed myself, haven't I? Another commenter says, SciJG8 says, the common law test for capacity to make a gift was set out in R.E. Beanie 1978, 1 WLR 770. Look that up if you want to. The question is whether the person making it was capable of understanding the effect of the deed when its general purpose had been fully explained to him. Furthermore, in other legal terms, you understood the gift was given as an engagement ring. You were of legally sound enough mind to have made the gift, in my view. Opie says, how am I going to propose to my work colleague then? Bro, you're an idiot. That's your thing?
That's like, well, yeah,
Wait.
that's his only worry. He doesn't want to buy another
He's literally scratching his head. Wait, with all that mumbo jumbo you just told me, how am I going to propose to my work colleague?
Accidentally take a ring out and propose to the wrong person.
Opie says, we're going on holiday and I won't have a ring. What happens if I take the ring from her without her knowing? We live together at the moment, so I could easily do it. It's not theft really, is it? I mean, I bought it. SciJG responds with, It's not theft, really, is it? 1 of Theft Act 1968.
This guy knows so many
This guy's a
acts.
lawyer.
Okay.
This guy
yeah.
has to be a lawyer. A person is guilty of theft if he dishonestly appropriates property belonging to another with the intention of permanently depriving the other of it. It means the definition, the ring, is no longer your property since you gave it away, and I frankly see a jury swinging that was fairly easily. OP responds with, doesn't seem fair to me. That's something I bought, which I accidentally gave, can be classified as theft. I spent £1,800 on the ring. Doesn't the law take that into a fact of accidents, mistakes? What if I honestly thought that the ring was mine?
You actually thought that the ring sized down to a woman's finger that looks like an engagement ring, that was called an engagement ring, that was given as an engagement ring, that she knows to be an engagement ring, or suddenly is yours?
Either this is the biggest rage bait ever, or OP,
Dude.
you are one of the most clueless people out there.
No, this has got to be rage bait.
It
I
has to
refuse
be.
to believe this is real.
It's like saying, I had a car for my girlfriend, but I gave the car to my work girlfriend, and she drove off with it. But it's my car, but I put her name and everything in her name. It's her car, but I bought it. Can I get it back? So dumb. Another comment here by, is that Afinka1 says, nothing accidental about it. You got pissed and made a stupid decision. Taking something that belongs to someone else without their permission is theft. Dusty Pilgrim also says, of course it would be theft. And OP says, but I bought it. You sound like a child. Afinka1 says,
He is!
LPT, if you don't want someone else to have something, don't give it to them. OP says, gave it to her while I was wasted. Sounds like a you problem, my guy. Afinka1 says, probably best to avoid getting wasted with 1,800 rings in your pocket in the future. Update on wanting to cancel the engagement with my girlfriend and getting the ring back. I have had a long and hard think to myself, and I decided to hand in my 4-week notice to my boss and start afresh. I think it's best my girlfriend doesn't find out about the affair I've been having. So I've spoke to my colleague and I told her I'm not going on holiday with her, and I've ended it with her. I've known my girlfriend longer, and my mom gave me a call saying she's happy. She's always wanted grandchildren and whatnot, so I didn't want to disappoint my mom.
No. Tell this girl and get out. I know it's so rage bait. I know it's fake. You little effing mommy's boy.
Yeah. I'm going to marry my girlfriend. Why? You don't even want to.
Don't do that to her. You're icky and gross, and she's probably hot.
She already planned out the wedding venue on her MacBook, and she hid it from me, so I didn't want to upset her. By the way, I don't want to upset you, because you can watch more episodes with stories just like this by going to your favorite podcast app, such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast that may be, and searching up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left. I'm losing brain cells reading this.
Yeah, his dumb incompetence is making me stupider by the second.
So let's go ahead and finish this. Genuinely, I feel bad if I were to break up with her. She's been buzzing all day, calling all her friends saying she's getting married and taking photos of her ring, etc. I think it's the right thing to do. Just worried that my colleague will somehow get a hold of my girlfriend and tell her about the times we've slept together. That's my final decision, and I think I'll stick to that.
I think you might actually be the dumbest person I've ever heard speak.
And we have some final comments. Lord of the Peso says, if you don't own your truth now, be prepared for it to come back and own you on later. Blythe Objective says, I just can't put into words how terrible OP's decision is. It's like the worst possible outcome. Imperial Seal says, really feel for his fiancé. Cowardly piece of crap move from OP here. All it takes for it to all come crashing down is the other woman to get a little jealous after they're married, but it will be his fiancé who gets hurt the most. Desdemona says, imagine this guy's children asking him how he proposed to his wife. And I respect females 123. What a lucky woman she is. That is the end of that story.
Yikes.
I hope that's all rage bait, because boy oh boy.
I think the only way I can possibly
only view that
go
as
on
rage
with this
bait.
story is rage bait.
My fiance made our wedding planning a nightmare. Now I want to call it off.
Nightmare, 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 nightmare.
So about a year ago, I popped the big question. I was deeply in love with my girlfriend and everything felt amazing. Keyword was. That is until she transformed into a bridezilla in front of my eyes. By the way, this comes from Throw Away the date123. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in the situation. So let us know what you would do in the comments. So ever since we got engaged, all she can do is talk about the wedding. At first, this was fine, but it started to consume her. I thought I would get some say in how the day was going to go, but everything I suggest is immediately shot down. The only choice I got to make was my tux, and even that had to fit her color scheme. Things really started ramping up when her mother came down for the weekend. She's your typical trailer trash woman who married into a successful family. All her ideas are awful and tacky, yet my fiance laps them up like a dehydrated person in a desert. When I try to bring it up with her, she tells me that this is her big day and I should just be supportive. I told her it was my money and that I should have more of a say in how it's spent. Her mom picked out maroon tablecloths with flowers and suns on them. I feel like it's a funeral for a carnival worker. She even suggested that we have adult soda kegs on tab. The last straw was when she and her mother, without my consent, used my credit card to pay for a venue down by a river instead of the church that we discussed, where my family has attended for generations and made many contributions. The pricing was even a little cheaper, minus the price of the hall afterwards. Who wants to get married next to a sinking river full of flies and whatever other insects float around, on top of people who will just waltz up to enjoy the day while we are trying to get married? I finally had enough. After she told me what she did, I canceled the payment on my credit card, spending hours dealing with the credit card company. I told her she could either set up a date at the church or find someone else to marry because I've had enough. She's spent the last couple of hours bawling her eyes out to her mom, making me seem like the monster after she went behind my back. Am I the a-hole in this situation? And we do have an update, but what would you say, Dakota?
I don't even think so. Honestly, like sometimes I might be like, yeah, but no, it's like you guys had already set up this venue and it's like really important because your family has like gone there for generations and stuff. And it's like, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
This is
I
our
agree.
wedding.
Our wedding. And that's like a huge thing to, one, I mean, not even talk about. And two, like you're disrespecting me and it's just not even a lone example. It's just another example of how you're not thinking of me and thinking of like my feelings when it's our wedding. Like what?
Yeah.
Why are we not even why are we
and
not considering it and not even talking about it?
This happens sometimes when people get, engaged and they're like doing the wedding thing, and then this kind of stuff like rears its head and you realize, oh, this is just going to be my whole life.
Yeah.
Like if it's not the wedding, it'll be like some other thing where it's just this insane, like everything has to be my way and perfect and you have no say and all this stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
we can't even do that. Like I'm not signing up for that future.
Yeah, exactly. We do have an update. Thank you, everyone, for your great responses. It has been pretty eye-opening, to say the least. I'm going to confront her in the morning. I'll post another update for anyone still interested. And there are some comments. OP responds to a deleted comment about his fiance taking his money without his consent. OP says, right? Who thinks it's right to take someone's money without their consent and then get mad at them for being upset? Commenter number 1 says, not the a-hole, maybe it's my values, but I think that this day is also very, very much your day. Not just hers, so you should undoubtedly have a say in this. Unless, of course, you handed her the reins. She's forgetting about the person she's marrying, and I don't think her mother is helping. This should not break you up, but you should definitely have a conversation about it. You should also consider how she treats your money now and how she might in the future. Running with your credit card and making a brand new plan without you is a big no. There's no guarantee what might happen when you share finances in the future. OP says, the financial aspect does worry me. What if I come home one day to find out that we're in debt over our heads because of an investment that she made without talking to me? Comment number 2 says, everyone sucks here. Your fiance is way out of line booking something with your credit card without discussing it, but you also seem a-holishly consenting. You talk about her trashy mother and look down on her ideas, completely ignoring that these are things that your fiance genuinely likes. Her mother is trailer trash? That's probably how she was raised. That's what she's comfortable with. Why are you marrying someone when you look down on the way that she was raised and the things that she enjoys? You say the original plan was to get married in the church that has been special to your family for generations, but you also say that you had no input other than your tux. Those conflicting statements make me wonder what else you've my way or the highwayed her on without even noticing. Honestly, you both have way more issues to sort out than the venues before you get married. Commenter number 3 says, not the a-hole. Frankly, in your shoes, I would have called off the entire wedding. It seems as soon as she had you locked in, her real personality came to the fore. Her mother is probably a good example of what your fiance will become in the future. I would have noped the F out a while ago. You don't say you love her, you say you did. Time to walk away, dude, for both of your sakes. And we do have a second update. I got a lot of great advice from my post last time, and the main thing I took away was that someone using your money for large purchases behind your back is a big red flag. Well, it turns out you guys were right, because I decided to look into our finances regarding the wedding and found a lot more than I bargained for. I have a large savings account that I have been putting money into for the last 8 years or so. About a year back, my fiance ran into some vehicle trouble, and it was a hassle, so I gave her access to my account in case of emergencies in the future. This same account is what we were using for a lot of the wedding expenses. We agreed on a maximum price that we could spend out of it, and everything else would have to come directly out of pocket. I don't often keep tabs on the account because it's in the back of my mind. I put money out of each check into it and move on. After all this went down yesterday, I decided to check all my finances and found out that not only had she exceeded the limit that we agreed to, but some of the money coming out didn't make sense. She had transferred almost $2,000 to her mother recently. I confronted her, and her answer was that her mom needed the money to come down because she can't spend her money right now due to a new business venture that her mother and father are involved in. I was angry because it's BS that not only are the mother and father not helping with the wedding, but we have to pay for them the entire time too. These people are pretty well off, so it's ridiculous. And that wasn't the end though. After more arguing, my fiance told me that she paid for her mother and father to come down last time too, and it wasn't a big deal, and that I didn't even notice the money was gone, so who cares? After learning all this, I told her the wedding was off for now until I get a chance to think things through. She cried and begged for another chance, but I wouldn't budge. I told her I needed time. She's staying at the hotel with her mother tonight, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm so mad right now and feel really betrayed. I don't know if she's the right one for me anymore. We have talked over the phone recently, but still haven't gotten anywhere. It's a pretty tough situation all around. Thanks for listening, everyone. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. But there are some comments left here. But do you have any final comments of your own?
Yeah, I think literally stealing your money and not telling you, because it's like, it's just a discussion. It's like, hey, I need to pay for my mom's flight. Like, I used some money from the savings account, but she just stole from you.
She just stole. There are some comments. Comment number 1 says, I could tell from the first post that this dude is going to get the your money is our money treatment if he says I do. I really hope he saved himself. Comment number 2 says, yeah, no, I cannot take this girl seriously. First, you don't contribute to the fund and now take it all away like it's yours and then beg for another chance. Dang, I would have called the police on the first thing alone. Someone responds, I can't take him seriously either. He is a condescending butt hat to her money-grabbing bridezilla. It's like they've never had any of the important pre-marriage conversations. They are obviously not remotely a loving team. Neither of them are within spitting distance of being ready for marriage. I would love to know their ages. If he said, I missed it, because they act like they're teenagers. Someone else responds, I'm surprised to see so many in this thread siding fully with OP when it's clear that he's an unreliable narrator. They both seem to really suck, and I wouldn't wish either of them on anyone. Another commenter says, okay, I agree with everything else, and OP dodged a bullet, but I can't wrap my head around why having draft adult soda at a wedding is trashy. Like, you're okay with an open bar, but a keg brings socioeconomic judgment? Someone explain. Someone else responds, when he described mom as a typical trailer trash woman, I knew OP was a POS too. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of other comments just like crapping on OP. But
yeah, I mean, fair.
Yeah. But I think because that was like such a small part to the story, like in relation to everything that she did wrong, I didn't really think about it that much.
Yeah. Those tablecloths did sound so bad though.
Yeah, maroon with flowers and suns. Well, honestly, I feel like there's a way to do it. If I'm imagining it, I'm imagining like gold suns and flowers and like a simple thing around the edges or something. And then it's like
I'm
mostly
imagining
maroon.
like maroon and orange.
Yeah, I'm imagining like very Renaissance type vibe. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're not right for each other. You gotta respect your mother-in-law, and you gotta not steal from your fiance.
My sister canceled my room reservation just 'cause I'm single.
That's very rude.
Relevant info, we lost our mom back in January this year. And during the summer, as a family, we decided that it would be too hard to have Christmas at my parents' house for the first year without her. I'm so sorry for your loss. I volunteered to find an Airbnb in one of my mom's favorite places to spend the holiday. This is a throwaway account because my family might find this post, and I'd rather them not find my main. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Xmas Trip, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Angie.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I am 37 female. My brother Matt is 46 male. His wife Kay is 44 female, and they have 2 kids. My older sister Sarah is 44 female. Her husband Jack, 45 male. And my younger sister Jess is 33 female. Her husband Joe is 33 male. And they have 4 kids. My dad Ben is 74 male. We all plan on staying at an Airbnb that I found and booked back in July. Certain criteria had to be met, with at least 2 bedrooms on the main level due to my dad's arthritis and my brother having had knee surgery in October. I found a place that worked. It had just enough rooms for my dad and my siblings' families, and on the same property, it had a studio cabin a short walk from the main house that I could stay in. I was very happy with this because I am prone to migraines after a car accident 2 years ago. Oh, that took my wife and left me with lingering pain and chronic migraines. I'm so sorry. I need a quiet, dark space to recover if I get one. As much as I love my nibblings, they do tend to induce migraines if I'm around them a lot. We worked out what percentage each of us would pay for the 5 days that we would be there. I would be covering the entire bill for my cabin and a larger part of the grocery bill, plus a small percentage of the main house, and again, everyone was fine with the amount that they were paying. The Airbnb host wanted each adult staying on the property to fill out a questionnaire. So I passed on the host email to everyone. I paid 75% of the cabin fee and then never heard back from the host on when to pay the remaining amount. I emailed her on Wednesday and she called and was confused as my reservation had been canceled by my sister Jess, who had told her that she was the new point person and to transfer what I had paid for the cabin to the main house rental fee.
What?
You can't just say I'm the new point person.
Yeah.
She apologized for the miscommunication, but explained that the cabin was already rented for the rest of the year. I was furious that Jess did this without talking to me, and now I'm left wondering where the heck I'm supposed to sleep. All the rooms are filled, and the only options are to sleep on the living room couch or bring in an air mattress and put it in the dining area, basically with no privacy or space of my own. I immediately called her and asked why she canceled my cabin. She told me that this was a family trip, and that she didn't want me to hide away separately from the family. And that this way everyone saved a little money. Oh, everyone saved a little money?
Yeah.
Because OP pays for everyone?
What about
Oh.
what about OP? What about OP's money? Huh?
I asked her where I was supposed to sleep, since all the rooms are taken.
Ugh.
She said that we would figure it out, and worst comes to worst, I could sleep on a couch. She didn't understand why I was upset, and I told her that if it was not such a big deal, she and her husband could sleep on the couch. She laughed and said that was ridiculous, and she had a room with her husband. I told her that I had a room as well, that I paid for, but she took that away. Why should she get a room? Her response was, maybe if I wasn't single. She did not get the chance to finish that thought because I hung up on her. I at least never talked to her for a very long time.
Yeah.
How dare you say that to someone who lost their wife?
Yeah.
How dare you?
I honestly forgot about that detail, but
That's
that makes
the
it
reason I was so
much
upset.
worse. Yeah.
That's terrible. I decided to get ahead of the story and texted my other siblings and called my dad to tell them what happened. Everyone is upset on my behalf, but no one can really offer any solutions as it is too close to Christmas to get a hotel room in the area, and it's too far of a drive to spend the days there and go home at night. I cannot really share a room with anyone. My dad's snores could cause earthquakes, and sharing with the kids is not an option. I even received a text from Joe about him not knowing what Jess had done, and him not agreeing with what she did, and he hopes we can resolve this. Everyone also agrees that it was a low blow to bring up me being single when I am a widow and still grieving. But no one wants to create conflict. Cowards!
Cowards. A lot of them.
Jess is the baby of the family, and she's very used to getting her own way. What I need advice on is how to deal with Jess. We are supposed to have a family Zoom call tomorrow, and I don't know how to talk to her and not get upset. I do not want to stay home. I want to be with my family, but I'm not sure that I can. I feel like this will be hard enough Christmas without my mom, and I don't want to be fighting my sister, but I cannot overlook the disrespect or the lack of a bed. How do I approach this call? And there is an update. That's tricky.
Yeah.
That is tricky because she fully disrespected you in multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like I would want my other family members to back me up and say, hey, you got to tell her that that's unacceptable.
Yeah. I think you definitely need to bring up the fact that you're still grieving the
Yeah.
loss of your wife and say, like, I was really upset by the fact that, like, me being single was brought
Yeah.
up at all into this and was a factor for me not
Having,
getting for what I
yeah,
paid
a bed.
for. Like,
Gotta be
why do you think, honestly, I think you should just straight up tell her, like, why do you think the fact that my wife passed away in a car accident means that I don't get what I paid for?
Yeah.
Like, just honestly, just hit it hard.
Yeah, just like really emphasize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make her feel really bad. Make
Yeah.
her cry.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Do it.
Make her cry. Update. The family Zoom meeting did not go exactly the way that I thought it would, but it worked out better than I had hoped. Jess started to talk, and I interrupted her and asked if I could go first, and then she could say what she wanted. Nice. Cry. Yeah. She looked annoyed, but nodded. I tried to keep it to the facts as best as I could without getting overly emotional or throwing out accusations. I said that it took a lot of time and effort to find a place that worked for our large family, both in size and in budget. I brought up that I had clearly told everyone the plan for the main house and cabin before booking it, and gave everyone a chance to veto it. I brought up how at any time Jess could have told me her concerns but did not, and now we are left with the issue of me not having a space of my own for the trip and the fact that I am now paying almost 20% more than everyone else. I said that under no circumstances am I sleeping on the couch, and while I do not want to cause drama or argue, I'm not going to back down from this. I was about to say something about only driving up for Christmas Day and then driving home that night, when my older sister Sarah butted in and said that I am not the one causing drama, and that
Okay.
this was Jess's fault. Nice.
Okay.
Sarah.
We like
Okay.
Sarah.
Sarah, 5 stars.
Yes.
5 stars for Sarah. She looked downright scary, with a glare very reminiscent of our mom when she said that me sleeping on a couch after my surgeries
Oh my
was
god.
beyond ridiculous.
I forgot that was it too.
Also medical
she was
issues.
injured. Yeah.
Not only was she injured, but she has medical migraines
Oh my gosh.
that she needs to be in a separate place for and like have
Yeah.
time away from the kids.
Yeah, and the snoring and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, dude. Jess needs to find her own Airbnb at this point.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kicking her out.
Yeah.
I did not mention in my original post, but I'm pretty banged up from the car accident.
Mm-hmm.
Fractured pelvis and multiple broken bones.
Oh my gosh.
And she said you have to sleep on the couch?
Dude.
I am moving around better now, but it took a lot of physical therapy to get to this point. Jess at least looked a little guilty when Sarah brought up my surgeries. Sarah did not give her a chance to talk and said that she might have a solution. Since I had told her about the loss of the cabin, she went to work trying to figure out how to get me a room. Turns out that one of her friends is a small weekend travel trailer that she would let us borrow. Basically a double bed and tiny bathroom, but it's better than a couch. Sarah also contacted the Airbnb host and asked about bringing it up there and hooking it up to power. She felt bad for the miscommunication and said that she would allow it for a small fee. Sarah then pointedly told Jess that she would be covering the extra fee.
Good.
At that point, my brother said he would recalculate the cost of the trip so that it would be fair.
Good.
Hope you shouldn't have to pay anything.
Yeah, on at this point.
By the way, it would be fair if you guys listened to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. Otherwise, it's not fair.
It's really not fair, guys, and I didn't want to say it, but like you have to do it because it's fair.
It's
That's
just
the
fair.
only fair thing.
It's just fair. But there is a little bit left to this story.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are yes,
Yes,
Sarah.
Sarah came through. No one else did.
Yeah.
We'll remember that. No one else did.
Yep.
5 stars for Sarah. OP continues, I thought that was it when Jess's husband came on the screen and said that he and Jess would take the travel trailer.
There we go.
Nice. 4 stars for Jess's husband.
Yes.
Can't give
3
you 5
stars still
because
for
you
Jess.
are married to her.
Yeah.
And I could take their room since it would be more comfortable. Jess started to say something and he said it was not up for discussion.
Okay.
They would take their youngest to sleep with them in the trailers and she might get up in the night and need them. I picked up my dad yesterday morning and we carpooled with Sarah and Jack and helped them hook up the trailer. The drive was nice and the place is very pleasant. We set up a tree and the kids decorated it last night. It is hard to not miss my mom, but I think she would be happy that we're all together. Thanks to the people that gave me advice. I hope everyone has a good holiday season.
Okay.
That's the end of the story.
I'm very pleasantly surprised by the end of that
Me
story.
too.
Everything
Honestly,
kind of worked out.
I think OP kind of did take our advice in terms of guilting Jess.
Right. But I
So,
mean, she barely even had to say
yeah,
anything.
Sarah stepped up.
Sarah stepped up.
Good
And I'm
job,
glad
Sarah.
that they actually like came up with a real solution because I was just like, get Jess out of there.
Yeah.
But that's like a perfect compromise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She's out of there, but like also still there. So
Yeah.
it worked.
I'm considering canceling my husband's birthday after he ruined mine.
Ooh, eye for an eye, buddy boy.
I only have 4 days to make a decision. I've been going back and forth trying to decide if I should cancel my husband's birthday reservations that I made for him at a really cool indoor golf place, followed by his dinner reservations. He's always commented on wanting to try both, and I thought it would make a nice gift. His birthday is only a few days after mine. And by the way, this comes from user NoPenalty9836, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. But we don't have all the answers. So if you've got answers of your own, why don't you let them be known down in the comments below. For Christmas, he legitimately took the time to buy and wrap me a box of diapers for our daughter in the next size up and presented it to me as my gift. I'm still angry about that, by the way. No gag gifts for Christmas have never been a thing between us. Last year, he got me a spatula, and I thought this year he would do better after the falling out we had over the spatula. A little bit of background information. Our daughter is now 2 months old, and we have been working on replacing the floor and painting our home since before she was born, with the goal of having it done before she can crawl. Over the summer, he did the nursery floor, and in the fall, a week before she was born, he did the flooring in our older son's room. Mind you, the flooring was given to us for free from my dad, and my dad bought my husband his own miter saw for Christmas, so we would no longer have to borrow his. I do all the painting. This past week, as we have been clearing things out of our bedroom for me to do the painting and him to do the flooring, he brought up my birthday. He said, "Wow, all this work for your birthday gift." I said, "Excuse me, what gift?" He said, "All the work of putting the flooring in our bedroom. But don't worry, I'll still do a dinner for you, and we can invite your mom and my family. What do you want me to cook?" I said, "I would just like to have a quiet birthday dinner with you, me, and the kids at Longhorn Steakhouse. Then come home and watch a movie together. Also, the flooring is not my gift. This is something we've been planning to do for a year, and with the house torn up, I don't want to host anyone, especially after hosting Thanksgiving and Christmas. We don't even have a place for people to sit. I'm currently sleeping on the mattress on the floor. Plus, I'm not a fan of your brother coming over, so you two can sit and drink while I watch our kids and his." He said, no, he was going to cook at home and asked me to tell him what I wanted. I said, okay, I want steak, mashed potatoes, and green beans. But there's a problem here. He can't make mashed potatoes to save his life, and only likes green beans if they're boiled, like fresh green beans slowly sauteed with olive oil, garlic, and herbs. So if I want them cooked this way, I'll have to do it. He said, no, we're not doing steak. It'll cost too much if the family comes over. I'll just do chicken. I lost it. I said, again, for my birthday, I don't want people over. And he kept arguing. And I said, fine, do what you want for my birthday. Side note, last year he ordered the traditional tres leches cake, but with peaches. I hate peaches. He likes peaches. I like strawberries. Plus, my name was spelled wrong on the birthday cake, and he thought it was hilarious. I am now seriously considering canceling his birthday golf outing and dinner reservations, leaving home if he invites his family for my birthday, buying him a box of diaper wipes, and presenting it with a card that says, "Happy birthday, I painted the house for you." Would I be the a-hole? Not the a-hole for canceling, but people tell her that she is an a-hole for staying with someone who clearly doesn't like her or cares about her. There's gotta be more. He can't just be like this all the time, right? Because I do know some people. I mean, I used to be one of them when I was a younger, dumber person. I was terrible with birthdays, and it was because I was like projecting my own feelings about my birthday onto other people's birthdays and being like, well, it's just a day. It's like, whatever. Like, you can do something nice for someone whenever. And it's like,
Yeah.
I had to get past that.
Right.
But I don't know how old this guy is. I doubt he's like 19. We've got some comments from OP. About 2 weeks after Christmas last year, when I had time to relax, I asked him for a genuine answer about the spatula as a gift and what the heck he was thinking. He said that he was at the store and saw that it was blue, the type of blue I like, and he thought of me and thought that it would match the utensil holder and our blue microwave that I found in the store one day and geeked out over. He said he thought I would like it because of the pretty blue color. That's about as deep as the thought went. He said that he never thought the gift would be sexist or imply that I had to do more cooking for him. To make up for the spatula, though, he did go out and buy me the KitchenAid stand-up mixer I had my eye on for over 2 years. I was really happy about it until he said, "So when are you gonna make me some homemade bread?" We had the talk about never ever ever buying kitchen appliances for someone as a gift unless directly asked for. That kitchen things used by the whole family is not a gift for one person. When I'm no longer angry about the diapers, I'll be able to calmly ask him after the 2024 Christmas spatula debacle, "What were you thinking gifting me diapers in 2025? I mean, dang. I'm thinking if this is how it's going to be, we might just make it a pact to buy each other practical gifts for the home. No more disappointment that way. And there is an update. Birthday plans? I have since logged in and canceled his birthday golf outing and dinner reservations for next week. Tomorrow is my birthday and his day off work, so he will be watching the baby, as I have also booked myself for a 90-minute massage. After that, I'll be stopping by Starbucks for my favorite drink and 1 hour of uninterrupted time with my new book that my son got me for Christmas. Then I'll be picking him up from school and taking him to go see a movie. I will round off the day by coming home, taking a long hot bubble bath, ordering DoorDash, and ending my day holding baby girl. That sounds like an amazing birthday to me. For him, I'll just be getting him a card that reads, "Happy birthday, I painted the house for you." The bag will contain a case of diaper wipes. If he looks disappointed, I will just tell him I canceled the golf outing and dinner reservations and instead got this bulk pack of wipes. The perfect gift to accompany the box of diapers you got me for Christmas. And he will get the message. In terms of divorce, for the people advocating for divorce and booting him out, leaving him with kids in the middle of the night, claiming that he isn't a good husband to me and father to our baby, please know that you only got one little glimpse into our life. He is a loving and caring father to our children. We struggled with infertility for a very long time, so this baby was a surprise, but we welcomed the blessing. Every day, I feared that I might pass away during labor as my pregnancy was high risk. He took a month off of work to care for me as I recovered from third-degree tearing and a bruised tailbone. Every night, he does the nighttime routine, bath, pajamas, story time, and rocks baby girl to sleep. While he does that, I do the house reset. Dishes, garbage, sweep. He wakes with me for all her feedings and prioritizes my sleep over his to make sure that I am rested enough to care for our daughter during the day.
Okay.
So yeah, it sounds like this guy is just really bad at gifting
Yeah.
and really bad at being at he's bad at birthday.
Right.
Said, "Babe, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
You asked me what I want for dinner for my birthday, and then you say no. So why did you ask me? Do you
Right.
see how that's not lining up?
Right.
You know?
Have a straightforward conversation, please.
This is the same man who during pregnancy cooked me breakfast every morning and massaged my feet every night. Before he leaves for work every day, he'll make sure I have time to self-care, like shower and brush my teeth and eat breakfast and pump it before handing me the baby if she's awake. Then he will make sure I'm happy on the couch with baby girl and anything I could need before he leaves. The blanket, the remote, the water cup, my phone charger, a clean binky and bottle for baby. As soon as he gets home from work, he'll take her and give me 30 minutes to myself before we start talking dinner plans. We make a good team when it comes to daily life. I don't have to make him lists of things to do. I like that when we're low on milk, he'll just pick it up on his way home without having to be asked. And he doesn't wait for a thank you like he did me some big favor, the way I've seen other men seek gratitude for doing basic tasks. He sucks at gift giving, and this year and last year. So, yes, I'll be doing nothing for him for his birthday. Despite the crappy, thoughtless gift and non-birthday plans, I will be holding off on kicking him out and just matching his energy for his birthday. For Christmas 26, I think I'll get him an IKEA toddler bed to assemble for our daughter and call it a day. And there is a birthday update. Yesterday was my birthday. Hubby surprised me with breakfast out at my favorite local spot, and we did a Home Depot run for more flooring. After that, I did go for my massage. It was wonderful, and I did stop at Starbucks for my free drink. I didn't have time to sit and read before I had to pick my boy up from school, but that's okay. And I know something else that's okay. The OK Storytime episodes full of stories just like this that you can listen to on your favorite podcast platform like iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just search the name of our show, OK Storytime. I don't know, doesn't sound like this is leave him divorced, like he's a psychopath and he hates you, doesn't love you. It's just like this one thing he is really bad at. I would be really upset about the dinner, not gonna lie. Somebody else brought that up.
Yeah,
It's like he has had a chance, and then he was like,
No, I'm not gonna make you your dinner. I can't buy steak for your mom and dad, or my mom and dad.
Right.
It's too much steak. It's too expensive.
Like, does he just think that, like, oh, well, we've been married for a while, so, like, we just don't need to do romantic things anymore? Like, you already know that I love you.
that does
You
that
know?
does happen, yeah.
Yeah, like, I could see it being something like that, because he seems to be giving this care in towards, like, the kids and stuff. But obviously they're kids, it's, like, different. But maybe he needs a reminder. They're like, hey, we're still dating. I know we're also married, but, like, we could still go out on dates. You can still do nice romantic things to me. For me, that still means a lot.
Instead of going to see a movie at the theater, we came home and began a Harry Potter movie marathon. I love Harry Potter. However, my son, without my knowing, had texted my dad and my best friend to come over and surprise me with a visit. He didn't know I had already had my best friend and her niece scheduled to come over to look through a pile of clothes before I took a large haul to donate at the Salvation Army. It was so much fun watching her niece try on dresses. We wrapped up the night with some pizza and cheesy bread. Hubby surprised me with a little gift, 2 new books, a pack of my favorite cookies, and a squishy niffler that I can add to my Harry Potter bookshelf.
Okay, I was like, what?
Overall, I had a great day, and that's the end of
Okay.
that story. I hope you're
Well.
not scrambling to rebook those reservations.
Yeah.
My girlfriend chose my brother over me, and now I'm just the third wheel.
I don't want to be the third wheel anymore.
I'm 22 male, and Felix, 18 male, is my adopted brother. My parents saved Felix from a difficult situation when he was a kid, so they were always really protective over him, and he was always the favorite. This made me feel bitter toward him while growing up. By the way, this comes from user C Estimate 7246, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all of life's answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments, as OP says. Even though Felix is an adult who just started college, my parents still dote on him. Up until he moved out, they made his meals and still scheduled his doctor's appointments, which they did not do for me at his age. I met Emma, 21 female, at university, and we've been together for about 3 years. She is sweet, funny, beautiful, and we are incredibly close. Felix was accepted into the same university as me, and while he probably could have gone to a better one, our parents forced him to go to mine because they thought it would be safer and make visits easier if we lived in the same city. I think my girlfriend Emma is interested in Felix, and it breaks my heart. This is probably my fault. When I was helping Felix choose his classes, his major had overlap with Emma's, so I signed him up for a couple of hers. I figured if they were in the same class, I could see them afterwards and show Felix around campus or give him a ride to the grocery store and get to see my girlfriend at the same time. I never thought about what could go wrong. First day I went to see them after class, I introduced them and we went to get food. I realized they were getting along really well. She asked him about random facts from their studies and marveled at how smart he was when he knew the answers. Do not get me wrong. Emma was still far more all over me. So at that time, I thought it was just her being her sweet self. But over time, their blooming friendship became harder and harder for me to bear. Felix has this way of interacting with others that is very flirtatious, and he does not seem to notice. Like this one time, we had a friend gathering at our house, and Felix told one of the girls that she was so pretty that if he saw her picture being used to sell frames at the store, he would buy the whole shelf. He seemed super surprised when she asked him out later, and he told her no. He does this behavior with everyone, even other guys, and now with Emma. Drives me crazy because no one else finds this behavior odd the way I do. The first thing was when we went to a restaurant because my parents were in town and Emma was invited. She noted how good her food was. Felix asked if he could try some, and she said yes, but instead of scooping some out of her plate like a normal person, he gently tugged on her sleeve, guided her spoon into his mouth, and thanked her. If she updates her appearance, Felix will notice and compliment her. He joked that if biology doesn't work out for her, she could easily fall back on a modeling career. I have heard him say this kind of thing to countless girls, so I told Emma it means nothing. He has also invited us to hang out with him in the past, and even if I cannot go with them, we'll still ask her to go with just the two of them. Emma has never stopped him. At least at first, she laughed it off dismissively, but over time, it was clear she was enjoying the attention. She began talking about him a lot, like funny things he did in class, and asked a couple times what he was like when he was younger. When the winter quarter began, they joined some classes together, and for the first time, Emma did not bother to ask me to join any of hers. They would hang out together after class, without me, and when the three of us did hang out, she would give him more and more attention, looking at him while smiling as if he is the best thing ever. I just wish she would look at me like she used to. One day, I overheard her and her friend in my apartment, where her friend complained that there are no men in their major with both brains and brawn. They're in STEM, so I guess all the guys in there are not her type. Emma quietly replied, "That is not true, just look at Felix." I have to admit, I cried on my floor that night. The worst thing was when our friend group was at McDonald's joking about this flyer we saw on campus asking for nude models that paid really well. Suddenly, Emma in front of me told Felix he should sign up for it. This turned into an uncomfortably drawn-out conversation between Emma and a few other friends about my brother's body and how he would be perfect for artists to sculpt. They worded it grossly, albeit in a joking manner, and kept saying he needs this since he has been job searching. Emma kept being insistent, saying, "Seriously, you would make so much money," genuinely trying to convince him. Felix kept saying no and giving valid reasons why he did not want to, but Emma kept being pushy, telling him to apply. She and the others did not quit until Felix stopped responding. I am not confrontational at all, but in the car ride home, I passively said that whole conversation was kind of weird, and it was uncomfortable for me to hear about how badly my own girlfriend and her friends wanted my brother to get unclothed. Me and Emma are the unserious type, and I said this in a pretty joking way, but she seemed to take it seriously.
It's so funny that you really want to... Oh, he's not even looking at her. It's so funny that you really want to see my brother unclothed. Hey, babe, do you want to talk about something?
And
Hey, babe, do you want to see me unclothed? No, your brother.
No,
Yes?
never again.
You? No.
No,
Your brother's hot.
You disgust me. She said, "What?" Like my accusation was the stupidest thing she'd ever heard, and said she was just trying to be like a good older sister to Felix and help him get a job. I told her that while I want him to get hired too, it's not like I would urge him to do an OF or something. She told me I am taking something that is innocent and making it dirty, which I could get, but I told her that regardless, Felix looked uncomfortable and probably felt objectified since they were making comments about specific parts of his body.
Why are we okay? Yes, one thing, but also why aren't you saying anything about yourself, OP, that you're uncomfortable, and why does she keep crossing this line?
Like, totally fair for you to say, "Hey, Felix didn't like that. Don't do that." But also fair for you to say, "Hey, I didn't like that. I'm your boyfriend." And then to finish that off by saying, "Hey, we're breaking up."
We went back and forth for a bit over this, never really raising our voices, but both being upset, and I ended up dropping her off at her own place instead of taking her back to my apartment. I will also say that since Felix moved here, I tried to become an extra good boyfriend for Emma. If Felix complimented her hair, I would buy her an expensive hair product and compliment her even better. I have always spoiled her, but feeling competitive, I really upped my game. I know that was a really backwards way of solving my insecurities rather than just talking to Felix or Emma. But I did not want to admit that I'm jealous of Felix like I had to all the time when we were kids. I just want one area of my life that is mine, that gives me its undivided love and attention, and I thought that Emma was that for me. Now, whenever she mentions Felix or I think of them in class together, I feel physically ill. The day after the semi-argument, I felt insecure again and texted an apology to Emma. Then I proposed that we go and visit a nearby lake town that she had been wanting to do for a whole year. She already had a plan of everything she wanted to do there. It has always just been me that was too busy. So she was super excited. She chose a weekend and we spent the prior week planning for it, deciding the activities and packing. She booked us a hotel room. But before we headed out on Friday, she asked me a question that destroyed me. She asked if we could bring Felix. No other friends. She did not ask if we could make it a group thing. She asked for just Felix to come. I asked her why on earth we would bring my little brother when it was supposed to be something romantic for the two of us. She explained that the three of us are always hanging out, and she had told Felix about the lake and invited him to go sometime in the past, so it would be rude not to bring him.
It would be like so rude if he didn't come on our weekend getaway. I would feel really bad if he didn't come and you know, honestly, I think that maybe it would be rude if he didn't sleep in our bed. Well, you wouldn't be there, but like with me.
Right.
Because he would be cold.
Yeah,
You
of
know how he
course.
gets.
You know you're cold and he's warm. He's
Yeah.
so warm.
He's so warm.
Oh, you didn't know he's warm?
I don't
how-
know that either. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just assuming.
I'm
guessing.
just playing a guessing game.
Break up with your girlfriend.
After bottling up everything for so long, I finally blew up at her with how upset the two of them made me. How I felt like a third wheel whenever it is the three of us. I mentioned the flirting and the conversation I overheard and even briefly mentioned how my parents did this exact thing to me. I told her I am so tired of being someone else's second favorite. She responded by saying I was totally exaggerating, acting like she cheated when she did not do anything. I never accused her of cheating. She said all their interactions have been platonic, and she kept explaining her side of things to where I began to feel guilty for being so emotional. But I told her I was sorry and would not go to the lake with her anymore, which pissed her off. She said the hotel and a couple places she booked times with would charge her a cancellation fee, but I did not care. And by the way, you should care that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more story here. Why would she cancel everything? Why wouldn't she just not bring Felix?
Because she's in love with Felix.
So she's going to go to the lake with Felix now.
Yep. Yeah, she probably didn't even cancel everything. She just canceled on you. Break up with her. There is nothing left for you here.
Yeah, it's truly time. This happened about a week ago, and I have not seen them since. Felix texted me asking to talk, just the two of us. I assume Emma told him about our fight, but I blocked him. Do I genuinely think Felix is interested in Emma? No. He is probably just sheltered by my parents and does not know better.
No. Stop gaslighting yourself. Felix knows better. He probably isn't actually interested in Emma. He probably just wants to toy with her. But he knows what he's doing. He's not. We've found out multiple times that this guy is smart.
Yeah. Why would we not talk to him? I don't think that was a good idea. Why would you block him without talking to him?
Because
he
doesn't like confrontation, remember?
So clearly, yeah.
It's honestly, it's getting pathetic.
It's debilitating for you.
But do I think Emma likes him? Yes. But I still love her, so dang. What if I'm wrong? What if she just thinks he's a good friend? In their defense, I've never really told Felix to stop the flirting, nor really mentioned to Emma that her friendship with him bugs me. You suck, brother.
That's on you, my guy.
You are the worst kind of little guy.
You're just a little 1-inch man.
You are making yourself a 1-inch tall little man.
Yeah, look, yeah.
A little 1-inch man is what you've
Inside?
turned yourself into. I am the one who put them in the same classes and introduced them.
Dude, that's
And
not
that is
the
the
issue.
end of that
What?
story.
That is so far from the issue.
Boo! Felix deserves your girlfriend.
Honestly, I don't. What are you doing?
And maybe he doesn't even want. Yeah, maybe it is.
Maybe
At
he doesn't
this
even
point,
want
I
her.
don't believe that you have your finger on the pulse of anything real. I think
Yeah.
that you're taking everything the wrong way, and that there is a reason why Emma was like, "What?" It's like, "What? So you think it was weird?" I was talking. It's like we were razzing him, and I was telling him to make money because he's broke and
Nah.
needs a job.
I don't buy it. I think that they're
And then,
all
yeah.
bad and that OP recognizes it, but doesn't have any spine to do anything about it. My parents wanted forgiveness after leaving me, and I couldn't help laughing in their face.
Haha.
Our family has an interesting story. My bio mother's side and bio father's side have 2 marriages between the families. One of them is our bio parents, and one of them is between my bio mom's brother, 55, and my bio dad's sister, 54. By the way, this comes from Swapped Kids, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And I'm Angie. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my bio mom, Linda, and bio dad, Chris, actually met at my uncle and aunt's engagement dinner when both of them were 16. Linda and Chris are still complete wrecks. My bio dad was the troubled one of the family who would have problems with school or work, and my bio mom has had regular use issues. When they met and started a relationship, both sides of the family tried to break them up. They even sent them to different countries, but they stole $50K from their families, managed to come together, and ran away when they were 19.
Some real Bonnie and Clyde people there, huh?
Indeed. They got married in a third world country and had me, 25 male, and my twin brother when they were 21 years old. They thought we were dead weights, so they left us in the hospital and went to another country. Luckily, they had checked in to the hospital with their passports, so the hospital reached out to the embassy. The embassy then found our grandparents, who brought us back home, and we were raised by our uncle and aunt, since we call them mom and dad. My parents were charged with child abandonment, but after 10 years of being MIA, the charges were dropped, and our families also didn't try to look for them. 2 years ago, they showed up at my dad's parents' house in a completely renovated look. Turns out they had finished their education, gotten stable jobs in the country, started mental health treatments, and had been sober for 9 years. They had basically put themselves together. For the first 6 months, they only saw their parents in public places. Then they were accepted into the houses. A year later, they met with us when we were 24. Me and my twin brother started to have a relationship with them, and we are somewhat cordial right now. Last week, the abandonment topic came up, and Linda said it was the hardest choice they had made. I started to laugh uncontrollably after that. When they asked why, I told them they had multiple choices to come back, and they didn't. I said our families were right not to trust them, and that they would always have eyes on them, and they should accept this at this stage. Linda started to cry, and they left shortly after. All of the family, except my brother, think I was being too cruel and that I should apologize. But I think they had to hear the unfiltered truth. Am I the a-hole? And there are some comments about bio mother and father's story. But what do you think, Keon?
I thought you
I'm about to call you OP.
Yeah. As OP, and I think we all agree here, you don't owe them the time of day.
No.
They abandoned you at the
For
hospital.
24 years.
Yeah. These people, you don't know these people. They don't deserve any of your time. Again, these aren't your parents. You have no relationship with these people. I would be like, it's too little too late, mom and dad.
Yeah.
Where were you for the last, I don't know, 24 years?
Literally.
So, grandpa and grandma over there they're my mom and dad. They're my twins and myself's mom and dad.
Yeah.
So, I don't care.
Yeah, and I think any of your family members who are saying, like, you are being too cruel, you just have to be like, hey, you weren't the ones abandoned by your parents. So I don't think you really get a say in how we feel about this.
Mm-hmm.
Bio mother and father story from comments. They didn't drag themselves out. They were dragged out by other people. I don't know how or why, but a restaurant owner in Thailand really cared about them. A restaurant owner? And started the rehab process by contacting our country and sending them back. Then it was the rehab center, after that the job placement, and then the secondary schools. They openly said they were doomed if he wasn't around. My family from both sides comes from a somewhat noble lineage, so both sides have some unrealistic standards. And our parents' mental health issues didn't favor them in the family. But Chris was a troublemaker for the family and also for the community. He was sent into boarding school at age 13 due to excessive troubles that he caused in school and at home. Not the classic ones. Police were called on him 7 times in a year.
7 times.
Linda still says she feels empty without constant adrenaline and trouble. She still doesn't want to stay sober from substances. She confessed this to my brother while asking which medication to take to substitute the feeling that spicy flour gave her.
Oh, wow.
Why is
But I think she's staying sober for the job. Yeah, I mean, that's such a complicated relationship of like this, woman who says, I'm your mom after 24 years, who is sober, but like, part of the reasons why she abandoned them is because of her substance issues. Coming and telling him that, I'd be like, I don't want to be around you.
Hey, buddy. Hey, do you know any substitutes to help my craving? I've been really craving for some substances, and I know you're kind of like my son, but like not really. Yeah. Do you have any referrals? That's crazy.
That's crazy. I still don't know if Chris is 100% sober, but he is passing well, even if he's not. While reading all of this, my decision has started to feel justified because I'm taking notes of important stuff that people have said. I am on paid leave right now, so I'm reading every comment. I will hear from them one last time, but with the evidence and the stuff I've heard, I possibly won't resume contact with them. And there are some relevant comments. Deleted says, not the a-hole. The thing is, they didn't even try to get you adopted. They simply abandoned you. You and your brother could have simply passed away there. Everything turned out fine for you and your brother, but that's no thanks to them. They didn't do anything to ensure you would be okay. It was all due to the kindness of random foreign strangers. Info, did they even know you were alive and with their family when they came back? OP says, I think they didn't because after we were born, both of them were pulled into a rabbit hole of substances. My parents have worked as bartenders in multiple Asian countries, and my father also has been an actor in the corn industry. Okay. So I don't think they have any ideas about our whereabouts, and my father still works in the adult film sector. He is not an actor anymore, but a producer.
Oh, that changes a lot of things.
He's working up. He's working his way up.
He leveled up.
My mother is working as a head mixologist in a 3-star Michelin restaurant. Dang, that's pretty. Those are wildly different jobs. Men Are Lazy says, the idea of a perfect family. My family has spent decades trying to get people who never got along to get along. OP says, oh, I see. I mean, I understand the reason why my grandparents are having an eye on them, because it is their children and they failed on keeping them safe and raising them appropriately. But I don't understand why the extended family members and my mom and dad care about their feelings. Honestly, I would have said good riddance. Magic the Mage says, not the a-hole, hard decision. They birthed you and left. They had no intention of finding you again. Now that they have their life together, they want cake and to eat it too. Shrimp and shoe fly pie. Yeah, those two fully intended on those kids never being found and probably stayed away as long as they did because the kids were with the families. Thank goodness for the health providers at the hospital. OP and brother would probably have been lost forever otherwise. OP says our family has donated generous amounts of money to the hospital after that, and we have visited there twice. The doctor who has birthed us is currently the head physician of that hospital, and we still send emails back and forth. Wow.
Cute.
That's lovely. Deleted says, info, is there any proof of the story of how your grandparents rescued you from a foreign hospital, and if that actually happened? OP says, plane tickets, the letter from the embassy, the photos in the hospital, the doctor's notes. We have tons of stuff. We also went to Sri Lanka twice to visit the hospital, and our grandparents made a discreet donation to the hospital. We also still send emails back and forth with the doctor who birthed us. My brother has actually decided to become a doctor due to him, and he is currently in the first year of his residency in neurology.
That's
wow.
so
Congrats.
cool. That's actually really cool.
And there is an update 37 days later.
Oddly specific number.
Oddly specific. What do you think?
I think, again, OP, I feel like you should have a conversation with your not your bio parents. Oh, maybe you could if you really owed them that. But again, like I said earlier, you don't owe them anything.
No.
But I feel like you need to have a conversation with your grandparents and any of your family members that are still in your, like was in your life from the very get go, that are, I guess, slowly letting them back into your life, your bio parents, and be like, I don't want to talk to them, or it's like I'll be cordial, but I don't have to have a relationship with them. I don't owe them anything. And
Yeah.
I think that's not even an unfiltered truth. I think that's just an honest truth. I think that's
just how it is.
yeah. And they should see how you feel and how they make you feel. And, yeah, I think that's just, you need to have a conversation with them and let them know how you truly feel, because it's very reasonable. It's very understandable.
Agreed. 37 days later. Some stuff happened since that post first. My bio mom and bio dad are not allowed to contact with me unless they want to go to jail. A good friend of mine from high school is a lawyer, and he advised me to prepare a cease and desist letter. My main language is not English, but this is the closest thing that Google Translate said it in the legal terms. And he did it for me without any charges because he said that's what good friends do.
Heck
Dang,
yeah.
that's nice. My brother is sad that I'm not even entertaining the idea of a relationship, but he says it's okay and he understands it. He just sees them from a different perspective, the same perspective that he sees the patients he takes care of. My mother and father weren't happy about the restraining order and accused me of being cruel and heartless.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
They accused you.
Wow, I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. I'd be like, oh, you're right. You know what else is cruel and heartless? Abandoning your children for 24 years.
Boom, snap.
They said I'm being the embodiment of a demon. And they said they will cut contact with me if I ever put this plan into action.
Good. Guess what? You guys cut contact with me
Perfect.
at birth.
Well,
Remember
also,
that?
I think OP's plan is to cut contact with them. So it's kind of, that's exactly what he wants. So awesome.
What's another 24 years, right?
I said, well, consider this as our last talk then, and left their house. I am residing at my own apartment that my grandparents gave me as a birthday present on my 18th birthday, so no worries. It's in my name and no one can touch it. We haven't spoken since, and I doubt this will change in the foreseeable future. My parents are too forgiving, and since childhood I was told I'm being too vindictive. This still continues from their side. My parents say I remind them of my great-grandfather who ruined people's lives just because they did small things wrong to him. I'm not going to try and argue with that. My grandparents, though, they have understood my perspective, and they said they will respect my boundary, but they also asked me to respect their boundary to have a relationship. I said, of course, and we had an agreement. I still love them so much, and I'm lucky enough to have the compassionate parental figures that can understand where I'm coming from. Other extended family members have divided in two. Most of them think I'm cruel and they don't want to have a relationship with me anymore other than being civil around each other. And some of them still want to protect the relationship we have. I can live with this. I'm also back in therapy thanks to my brother. He arranged a session with a therapist and also an appointment with a psychiatrist in his hospital. So I am currently back in therapy and started to use antidepressants. It doesn't solve all the problems, but it helps. For me, my life continues as my birth parents never showed up. I go to work and have some me time on the weekends and spend some time with my friends whenever I can find the time. And I go visit my grandparents once every 2 weeks. They live next door to each other. My brother is my next door neighbor, so we eat most of the dinners together when he's not on the night shifts. Those nights I mostly find a guy to spend some time with. And there are some relevant comments. But do you have any thoughts before we finish this off?
No, it's just a little exhausting that nobody, I mean, not nobody, but
Yeah.
some of your family is kind of not understanding why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. You're like, all right, you're no better than them. You're no better than them. Do you remember what they did before we were even born? And you're going to forgive them like that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They stole $50,000. And I mean, it's good that OP realizes like everyone else can have their own relationship with OP's parents, but OP doesn't have to have that.
And again,
And
it's
that's fine.
It's for them probably. It's like the prodigal son? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
it's-
like, oh, they finally come home. We're welcoming them back. But OP, you do not owe them that.
Yeah.
But you owe us listening to full episodes of stories just like this. You owe it. Just kidding. You don't know it. But we'd like it if you listen to full episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and searched up OK Storytime. We'd appreciate it.
You do owe it.
You don't.
Relevant comments. Affectionate Can says, so missing info. What happened that caused a cease and desist / restraining order to be issued? OP says, due to the nature of the previous case by our country's law, I can ask for a cease and desist letter, but that is not a restraining order. It's just a warning letter against them saying if you ever come close to me, I'll accept that as a harmful act and I'll act according to that. Friend Lily says, not the a-hole. The majority of your family sounds toxic. I'm glad you're in therapy and getting the help you need. And I'm glad you have gone no contact with everyone, pestering you and calling you names. You're not a demon by any stretch of the imagination. You are not to blame for other people's bad behavior. And when you react to protect yourself from that behavior, you are not wrong. I'm sorry your parents and bio parents are both ignorant and hateful. So again, what changed to cause OP to want a restraining order? Deleted says, reading the first post, I wondered what the family was like if the bio mom got into substances at 14 and the bio dad had problems as a teenager too. Figured there was probably some toxicity in the first place. And after reading the rest of the family's reaction to OP not wanting anything to do with the adults who literally abandoned them in another country, without even trying to contact back home, I feel firm in my stance that OP's family sucks. OP says, my family comes from somewhat a noble lineage in our country, and everything is about the looks and how we're perceived from the outside, so abandoning people who are the outcasts is an option they are familiar with. So yes, they are toxic, and the concept remittance men is a thing in our family. My bio dad and bio mom are not the innocent people here. Their parents, aka my grandparents, have pushed all the buttons to make it right, both by medical and emotional stuff. But my bio dad is a diagnosed borderline and my mother is type 1 bipolar, who had a really early diagnosis at age 13. I am also diagnosed with medication-resistant depression. I had TMS when I was 18 years old, so mental health disorders are genetically rampant in our family. My brother is also type 1 bipolar. Our grandparents tried to change a lot of stuff in our families, but their siblings wanted the same stuff to continue, so it didn't work. But they have raised me and my brother according to their ethical codes, so they are the ones we are looking up to. Our parents, unfortunately, were heavily influenced by their aunts and uncles. Various Try says, not the a-hole. Wow. Your adopted parents cut you off because you were too vindictive, cutting contact with your bio parents who abandoned you. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. While I think it's totally reasonable for them and for your brother to accept your bio parents back into your lives, it is equally as reasonable for you to want nothing to do with the people who abandoned you at birth in a third world country. Stick to your pew-pews and enjoy your life without them. And that is the end of that story.
Very nice.
But yeah, I mean, you don't owe these people anything. They left you for 24 years. And that's that.
Yeah.
I canceled my daughter's birthday party because she mocked my husband.
And that means no birthdays forever.
I, 48 female, share 2 children, Pam, 15 female, and Liam, 13 male, with my ex-husband Marco, 50 male. I share a daughter, Annie, 9 female, with my current husband Bruce, 46 male. Marco and Bruce are night and day different. Marco works in construction, plays softball on the weekends, and coaches my daughter's soccer team. Bruce teaches at a university, plays the piano, likes going to the theater, and is an amazing baker and cooker. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Birthday Cants, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, it's not uncommon that we'll go to one of Pam's soccer games, and then afterwards the whole team comes back to the house to enjoy cookies or cupcakes made by Bruce. At the end of the season, we do a big dinner for the team and their parents that Bruce cooks. Bruce and I have been married for 11 years, and every year for the kids' birthdays, he makes the most incredible cakes. Whatever they like that year, he does. We've had Pokemon, Doc McStuffins, Paw Patrol, among others. February is Pam's 16th birthday, her sweet 16. Bruce has been planning this gorgeous cake that encompasses all of Pam's interests and different stages of her life. The other day, another mom sent me a link to a TikTok that Pam and several of her teammates did. It uses audio from an episode of Family Guy. It's a video of Bruce taking a cake out of the oven with chocolate cake a la Blake playing in the background, followed by a cut to my daughter and her teammates with Pam holding up her hand and mouthing along to $100 Blake is gay out of the side of her mouth. When I confronted Pam, she said it was just a joke. I told her that it wasn't funny. Bruce saw her and treated her like his daughter, and it was disrespectful to both of us. She told me that I was overreacting. I told her that if she didn't take it down and apologize to Bruce, I'd tell him not to make her birthday cake. She rolled her eyes and said that she'd take it down. Shortly after, I was walking by her room and heard her on the phone. It was muffled, but I heard her talk about me being dramatic over my F-word husband. Oh, so this is a really, really big issue.
Yeah, it feels like it's gotten ratcheted up to the next level of issue now.
That's and like, where are you learning that language? Is it just from friends or is it from
I know you didn't grow up with
dad?
the internet, but everyone learns everything by the age of 11 now.
Absolutely, but I feel like there is, especially among younger people, there's either like the people going down the very like far right, or there's the people who are like, everything is, offensive. You can't say that word. And so if it's
The algorithm.
yeah. And so I'm like, is she learning this from the internet, her friends, or her dad? That's what I'm wondering. I ordered her to hang up the phone. She hung up and said she was just blowing off steam. I'm just throwing slurs around to blow off steam,
Guy can't do. 16-year-old girl can't lay out a couple slurs just to take the edge off.
She's like, slur. It just makes me feel better. Oh, slur. I called her a spoiled, ungrateful brat, and how dare she use that word. She started crying and said she didn't mean it. I told her that her birthday party is canceled, there will be no Sweet 16, and that I was going to tell Bruce to stop baking for the team and that we would never do a team dinner again. I am still so angry. Marco told me that I need to let it go, that I'm expecting too much from a teenager, and that he would have a party for her if I didn't. Bruce was hurt when he found out, but thinks that we should still let her have her party. My sister tells me not to doubt myself, and I made the right call, but I wonder if I'm acting with too much hot blood. Am I the a-hole here? And there is an edit, but what do you think?
Well, the overall goal is we want our daughter to not behave this way.
And we also want her to never say that word again.
Right. So I think by, taking away her 16th birthday party, you might accidentally, really solidify that
she's like, my gay
hates
stepdad
Bruce.
did this to me.
Right. It's like, it's maybe not,
I think that she needs a punishment for this. And I'm not necessarily fully against you taking away her birthday party. However, I don't think that actually teaches the lesson that we want to be taught here, which is that that's a really bad word. And I feel like you need to have a talk with her as kind of, young adult to adult, where you say, why did you say that word? Why do you think it's okay to say that word? Who did you learn that from? Are your friends saying that kind of language? And maybe having the threat of taking away the birthday if she says anything like this ever again, or like future consequences. But I do think there needs to be some sort of punishment regardless of whether or not you take away the birthday party. She can't just like not get punished for saying that stuff. But we got an edit. Also, to clarify, I did not punish her for the TikTok video as much as it irritated me. I told her to take it down and apologize to Bruce, or there would be no birthday cake. She agreed to take it down. The punishment came when I heard her refer to Bruce as my F-slur husband. I did not raise her to use that word or to disrespect anyone in her life, especially someone who's loved her and doted on her from the moment he came into her life. And we got an update. Let's get into it. I've been asked for an update on the situation. Most of you agree that I was not the a-hole, but many pointed out that the punishment did not fit the offense and was just meant to hurt. After thinking it over, I agree. I decided to sit Pam down and ask her why she had made the video. Yes, good job. She kept saying she didn't know and crying. I explained how this could ruin her future, the bullying that people who are LGBTQ+ face and the consequences of said bullying, and how terrible it is that she would do this to someone who has treated her very well for as long as he's known her. Pam said that several members of the soccer team had used the F-slur to refer to Bruce after they saw how he was always baking and cooking for fun. They're jealous. She didn't like it, but felt if she didn't agree, then she would be ostracized. She agreed to delete the video and apologize to Bruce for her actions. He accepted her apology. Many people suggested that I make Pam and her friends cook for the next team dinner. Soccer season is over, so there are no team dinners until next year. However, Annie's gymnastic class had their family dinner and holiday party on the 16th, which happened to be the same night as the holiday dance at the high school. I contacted the parents of the girls who appeared in the video. A few asked to see the video, and all were deeply embarrassed and ashamed. I told them that we will be deleting the video and would not refer to the school as long as the girls apologized to Bruce, helped to prepare the food for the gymnastics dinner, and gave up the dance to volunteer at the party and serve meals. Every parent I spoke to was very grateful and agreed it was a fair consequence of their actions. So every day after school, from Monday to Thursday, the girls came over and worked in our kitchen, cutting up vegetables, boiling pasta, breading chicken, layering lasagna, making buttercream, mixing up cake batter, rolling out cookie dough, cutting cookies, washing dishes, and just about anything else we could find for them. By the way, I hope that you can find full episodes with stories just like this if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. Just search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left of this story. I think that's a great punishment.
Free labor.
Yeah, free labor. You slur, you got to do free labor.
What
now.
amendment is that? That allows.
The 13th.
Yeah, you just used the 13th Amendment on your children.
Yeah, they're like, you can't do this. This isn't right. And you're like, well, we already do it legally, so too bad. At the end of Thursday, I asked the girls what part of what they did this week was, hey, none of them had an answer. All of them approached Bruce at some point and apologized for being a part of the video. At the end of the party on Friday, 2 of the girls asked Bruce if he could teach them how to prepare a few of the meals he made for team dinners in the past, and he agreed. I realized not every girl who made fun of Bruce may have been in the video, but a very clear message was sent. We have decided to still hold the Sweet 16. After sitting down with Marco, he explained he'd never heard anything said by the team before, didn't realize it was a team-wide issue, apologized for not having my back, and agreed that it was a fair punishment. He also promised if he heard any slurs from anyone, it would be the end of their time on the team. Because he's the team guy. Right.
He was the coach.
He's the coach. Are you sure you're not hearing any slurs on there? You're the team coach. You're not hearing anything?
They must have a pretty bad record.
Yeah.
The coach isn't that involved.
But that is the end of that story. Don't slur, folks.
Don't use slurs. My wife told me she's pregnant, but she doesn't know I'm infertile.
She's a cheating.
My wife, female 33, and I, male 34, have been married for 3 years, together for 6. She's always been one of the most amazing people I've ever met. No huge fights, love languages match up, and we're both fairly active people, which has been why we've had such a strong relationship. And that's why this is so difficult for me. By the way, this comes from user Throwaway My Spermazoa. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, we've both been doing well in our careers the last few years. She's in marketing, and I work independently as an IT consultant, allowing me to set my own hours and be flexible. How flexible? We decided last year that we wanted to start a family, with her likely keeping her job full-time and me scaling back to part-time. We've both been anxious but excited to have our own kids. Long story short, I was diagnosed with azoospermia last December. A blockage in the pipes it meant I wasn't producing any baby juice. And it's curable with surgery, thankfully. And we finally got it scheduled for July. She has a high spices sleep drive, and as do I. So we've still been very active, but there should have been no way I could have gotten her pregnant. She missed her period this week. I couldn't imagine that she might actually be pregnant, right? The babies are bottled up until they get the blockage out. She took 3 tests, though, and sure enough, each one was positive. At first, I was stunned because this shouldn't be possible. She's never been unfaithful and never given me a reason not to trust her. I'm not the jealous type either, but I'm literally stuck. The doctor said this couldn't happen. And I can't believe my wife would jeopardize the future we've been so excited for over some fling when we have such a great emotional and physical connection. My wife has been ecstatic. She's given no indication of guilt or worry that she may have cheated. She was so excited when she found out that I didn't express my worries. But she left for work, and now I feel completely torn. What if she did cheat? Looking back now, there are a few tiny things that didn't seem like issues, but now have me racking my brain for clues. Her job often has her taking clients out for dinner, and it's not uncommon for her to get back later in the evening. She definitely had a busy last few months, but that's normal for her job. She always wears one of the same 2 perfumes, but she came back one night smelling completely different. I remember seeing a text message on her lock screen of just a winky face, but assumed it was one of her girlfriends. I don't know what to do. I set up an appointment on Monday to see if there's any chance it could be mine. If it is mine and I accuse her of cheating, I would feel like the world's biggest a-hole. But she's coming home in a few hours, and I don't know what I'm going to say to her. I can't stop thinking of these small things that may have been her cheating, and I just didn't see it. Do I wait until the doctor appointment Monday before talking to her, or do I bring up these insecurities while she's celebrating the pregnancy? I'm worried I won't be able to hide what's going on. I should add, I have been cheated on before. Our relationship has been pretty healthy, but that old fear is creeping back in now. Fair. This is bringing up some old emotional scars, and it's just effing with me. I'm usually never this insecure or uncertain about being straightforward. I think I need to just find some way to bring it up without being accusatory. Yeah, please.
Okay, well, okay. I think it maybe could be good if you like waited for the appointment and got double checked. However, I honestly think if you're going to be worrying about it until that appointment, just like sit her down and say, "Hey, I'm really excited about the baby. I just wanted to talk to you. I'm not accusing you of anything, but you know that I had like the sperm stuff, blah blah blah." You could even bring up like
I don't know. She
tumor.
doesn't.
She doesn't.
That's
at
the
all?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. She does not know
I thought
this.
she knew.
No, she doesn't.
Oh,
She has
yeah,
no
I would
knowledge
bring
of
that
this.
up. I'd be like, "Hey, I found out that I'm azoospermic."
Yeah, it's like you need to, and I think you can do it without being
Yeah.
accusatory, but it needs to be like a thing where it's like, so I literally got told by the doctors that this was
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to be excited, but because I've heard that, I am feeling impossibly confused right now over
Yes.
what I should be feeling. And I don't want to accuse you of anything. But you can see how after me being told that, I would feel maybe a natural skepticism. Comments. I'd say you should wait for the appointment. Biology can surprise us sometimes, but prepare for the worst case scenario. OP says, should I take her with me to it? I'm weighing the choices between that and going alone. I'm going to have to bring it up anyways. There's no way I can hide this when she gets back. Another user says, I literally just studied this. Oh, so although you've been diagnosed with azoospermia, it means that when they looked at your juice in the lab, it didn't have any little wigglers in it. However, you produce a lot of the juice, and the lab only looks at a little bit of the juice, which usually gives a good response. Usually, you would repeat several times before concluding that diagnosis, although just because the lab didn't see any baby juice, it can mean that you had an incredibly low count, so none of their samples from the sample you have showed any. This doesn't necessarily mean that, for example, in the normal processes of a normal guy having the 30 to 900 million little swimmers, it's usually about 15 million per milliliter. It's possible you maybe even 1,000 little swimmers per milliliter and you would still be diagnosed. Yeah, so okay. So this
So
commenter is
basically,
saying
you can
there
have
is still
very little and still be diagnosed. with
It only
azoospermia.
takes one.
Only takes one.
It only takes one. OP replies, goes, man, I hope you're right. I don't remember exactly what they said. But are there any forms that would have a complete lack of a baby juice count? They seem to be convinced that it was completely blocked off, but this was all months ago, and I don't remember exactly what they said. And there is an update. 2 days later, I took a lot of what you guys said to heart. I had an ex years ago who cheated on me, and it really left a scar. It wasn't until I got more involved with sports and getting in better shape that I was able to move on. My wife and I actually met in a soccer league we were in together. We've had so much trust for so long that I thought those fears had gone away. It wasn't until now that I really started to feel shaken like that again. But I didn't want to let my past get in the way of what could be just a huge blessing. A few people really articulated the right way to communicate my feelings without being accusatory and being respectful to my wife, who's never really given me any reasons to doubt her. It's not uncommon for her to sometimes be home late, and she'll usually go straight to bed. I didn't want to dump this on her immediately and decided to give myself a night to sleep on it. I got up pretty early, just being restless, went for a run, and cleared my mind. I couldn't wait any longer. I made our favorite omelets and told her I needed to talk to her about something. She says, "You know I'm not Ashley, right?" She knows me well. Ashley is my ex who cheated. So first, I apologized. I apologized because I let this build up in my head for so long without talking with her about it sooner. What should be a blessing has been nothing but insecurity and fear for me. We talked for a while. I told her how happy it made me to see her ecstatic and excited for the baby. I told her how much I loved the relationship we've built together, and I felt like an a-hole for questioning her loyalty. She had never given me a reason not to trust her, and I still couldn't emotionally get over the thoughts of infidelity because of my ex. She thanked me for telling her and knew how hard it was for me to get over that. She volunteered to have us get a paternity test right when he or she is born, which made me feel better at first. But something still felt off. I honestly don't know why. Something about how she was so eager to get a paternity test and almost not mad at all for having kept this from her. Normally, she would have been upset that I didn't bring it up right away, but there was just a weird feeling I couldn't shake for the rest of my day. It seemed like she was saying all the right things, but I couldn't get rid of this clawing feeling inside of my head. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. Maybe there's a gut feeling that I need to listen to, but I ended up going to the appointment alone as we decided it would be good to see if I still needed the surgery. Turns out it is obstructive as I've read so many stories about people who were supposed to be infertile who ended up getting pregnant, so I brought that up and how my wife's pregnancy was affecting me. Their urologist thought it would be pretty unlikely that I wouldn't need surgery to have a kid with how mine was presenting. He mainly tried to skirt around the topic and mostly pushed me towards making sure she was actually pregnant. Being there didn't really help. I feel like I just got more uncertainty. She had another night out until 8:30 last night. We talked about scheduling an appointment to verify the pregnancy when she got home. She seemed a little confused, but then quickly agreed. She promised to do it in the morning. I asked how work had gone, and she gave me a kind of non-committal answer about her boss pushing her too much and being stressed out. Nothing huge there, but she did seem just off a little bit. I really couldn't put my finger on it. We were still acting all lovey-dovey, but something just felt wrong, and I couldn't talk about it without repeating the same conversation we had Sunday. I've been trying to throw myself into work to distract myself, but I haven't been able to focus. We have a joint checking account that we'll sometimes move money in and out of, but really only use for groceries or household items unless we talk about it beforehand. This morning, she moved half of it to hers, about $1,700. We don't do that. She has never needed to do this before. And I checked our healthcare portal. She made the appointment for the time Thursday that I mentioned I was busy working on site. We were supposed to go together. I'm starting to go crazy. How do I bring this up without just having the same conversation again? Well, now you bring it up and you get a little more confrontational about
Yeah,
it.
you're like, hey, what's up with $1,700? What's going on?
I'm looking into getting a second opinion for myself, but I need a litmus test from objective outsiders to know if I'm really losing it or if this seems weird to someone else. We have a second update. I've been trying to center myself. We talked calmly for a bit on the phone, and she claimed she moved the money out in anticipation for the deductible payments she'll have with different visits. I didn't bring up anything else, but she seemed a little impatient with me, probably rightly so, and I implied we'd have a longer talk when she gets home. I'm just trying to not overreact right now. I don't know what to think. This is either a misunderstanding on my side and I'm a father or not. Thankfully, she's not working late today. Update 3.
I literally don't know. It really could go either way. I really don't know.
Why would she make the appointment on the one day he can't go?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? I think that just needs to be a, hey, I noticed that the appointment's on that Thursday. Can we change it?
Can we change it?
And if she goes, no, we can't. It'd be like a,
Why?
But it's like, we can change it. There's literally no rush to do this. We can do it Thursday. We can do it next Thursday. We can do it Saturday. We could do it whenever.
Any day.
Just literally not that day because we have to go together. Update 3. I went for a long run to clear my mind. My wife should be home soon, and I'm going to go into the conversation without judgment, just objectively walking through the facts and why I'm still struggling personally with some of them. Regardless of what happens, I'm done with any confusion left between us. And a note here, OP's asking Redditors for a script to ask his wife. Hi, honey. I was looking at our medical portal to see when might be a good day for an appointment, but noticed that you booked it for Thursday. That's okay. I'll take some vacation and come along. It's too important to be close to you for that appointment. Chat about other stuff briefly, and then, oh, by the way, I noticed you moved $1,700 out of our joint account. Was that for the appointment, or did I miss something? We have some more comments here. Do you have any sick time? Call in sick on the day of the appointment and go anyway. She's technically already kind of agreed to go together, so it makes sense. She can't argue with that. OP replies, I wouldn't want to surprise her, but I think I might wait until she's home and mention I can take the day off and see what she says. Another user says, solid plan. Honestly, I hope it ends up just being a misunderstanding for your sake, and honestly, for my sake, and for everyone's sake. Please, dear God.
I just need it to be a misunderstanding. Please.
It's better to be sure, and it's not as though you're being unreasonable. OP replies, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to get all my uncertainty out to make sure I don't just act on fear. I'm a little uneasy how popular the post got, even though she rarely uses Reddit. I'll probably have to take this down eventually. Update for 3 days later.
I'm scared.
We've got 93% of pollers saying it's cheating.
I don't want it to be cheating. No.
Use the power of manifestation to manifest that there was no cheating in this story.
No cheating. I know it's Reddit.
Come on.
Please.
Come on.
Please.
Come on now. Come on. 3 days later, we finally sat down after she got home last night. I told her everything that was going on, the urologist, the money, the upcoming appointment. I told her how even with all of her reassurances, there are too many suspicious things that are happening. She agreed how everything looked and immediately apologized. She didn't realize how much my last ex's cheating was still affecting me. She knew I was off going into the weekend, but thought we had addressed that. We talked about it Sunday, but I can get pretty internal with all these worries and not show them outwardly. So while she thought we were communicating, I wasn't. We decided to start from the beginning and go through everything together. The money was the real problem for me. She agreed how inconsiderate it was with where my head was at to do that without mentioning it. Apparently, the prenatal visits are so structured that they want you to set up a payment plan right away, and she wanted to make sure it was squared away to keep the appointment. She offered, without me prompting, to call them with me tomorrow to verify that, or if I really wanted, we could move the money back. She does get better rewards out of her account, so it kind of makes sense. We read up on my condition, and it doesn't seem like they're often invincible force fields. It seems like only the actual absence of the vas deferens guarantees complete infertility, so it's possible for some to get through. We're going to go back to the original specialist I was working with last year and hopefully get a clearer picture. It turns out the appointment she made was the only time they had available soon.
That's what I was thinking. That was and I didn't say it before, but my first thought, having just done like a bunch of PT stuff, is like, it's so hard to get doctor's appointment stuff. Just like in general, oh my gosh, I tried to get a doctor's appointment with my doctor specifically, which, I mean, I'm sure she would want to go to her doctor or like a trusted something. And it was like months out. And so I had to go to a different doctor. And then for PT, I had to wait 2 months to get into PT. So like that was my first thought, was that this was just the first day that was available.
And that's why our healthcare is the best, because we pay so much money for it.
Anyway.
Okay. She said it was the only time they had available so soon, and she figured it'd be best not to wait. I told her I took off work to go with her, and she was relieved I could join. Okay.
I don't think she's cheating.
Okay.
I don't think either she's a very good actress.
Once again, she said all the right things and seems genuine about getting us on the same page. After going through each thing, I was just wishing I believed her a little more before. She's stressed out with work and when she'll have to take off, but she really seemed to want to go out of her way to alleviate my concerns. She even offered an open phone policy if I needed. We did look at the text I had seen, and it was just a girlfriend. I declined, though. Right now, since I don't want to be that husband, and by the way,
no.
you want to be our husband or wife, just listen to us in our full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. Just search OK Storytime and you can listen to them all. I swear to God, if
You're
this story doesn't
joking
have an
me.
ending.
I hate if this
You look
story
for another update.
doesn't tell us whether or not she cheated. with definitive proof, I'm going to go crazy.
This has really made me take a deeper look at what's in my past and how that still affects me today. Fire. That was a bar. That guy that's cooking. Even thinking back to this weekend, it was so hard to see in the moment how much all the uncertainty was affecting me. That level of anxiety literally makes you question what around you. That level of anxiety literally makes you question everything around you and if it's real. I think trust but verify is the best way to put it. I was just trying to verify without any of the trust. That's all. This has put a strain on our marriage right now, but I'm feeling more like we're a team again, working towards easing that. She thought that a non-invasive prenatal paternity test ASAP was a great idea, as long as we also get some kind of counseling together. I'm not big on therapy, but I can probably agree that it will most likely help. I'm feeling a little better about everything. It's time for me to hopefully be a father. And update 5, the paternity test came back initially positive for anyone
Initially?
that's going to see this.
Okay, wait, yeah.
That's his child.
It's his kid.
There's no cheating.
I did doubt it, but I never fully was on the cheating train, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud to say that I only doubted him a little bit. My parents stopped paying my tuition because I refused to watch sports with them.
Watching the game is way more important than reading the books.
My female 21 parents told me that they weren't going to split tuition anymore following an argument we recently had. And the argument involves something dating back years. We're a big sports family. NBA, NFL, MLB, and my younger brothers play sports too. They both play baseball in high school, but dabbled in others. I played tennis at my community college before transferring after my associates, and have played since I was young. I'm grateful to my parents for paying for our sports despite our differences. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Turbulenticon. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I still live with them and I pay rent. I work 2 part-time jobs and I've been splitting tuition until recently, after an argument about something dating back years. This week and last week is the U.S. Open of tennis, and we've watched tennis together growing up. Over the years, I've done so less and less after realizing my mom's commentary about certain players went beyond typical sports rivalry. Her criticisms often focused on personal characteristics and behavior in ways that made me uncomfortable, particularly regarding female athletes. She had similar patterns with other sports figures, including comments about athletes who've spoken publicly about mental health challenges or social issues. The reason my parents decided to stop splitting tuition was because of an argument that happened last week. My parents asked me if I wanted to attend the U.S. Open, as they were purchasing ground passes. As I've done in recent years, I declined. That led to them asking why I don't do as much with the family anymore. And they've often harped on me for not acting like part of this family. I decided to speak my mind instead of coming up with an excuse, and told them that I was tired of watching sports together because it had become annoying. I explained that the constant negative commentary about athletes, particularly when it seemed to go beyond sports performance into personal attacks, had taken the joy out of watching together. So because I didn't want to act like part of the family, they said that this upcoming semester would be the last that they split tuition, so I'm on my own going forward. Which is so indicative of how far they've taken their love of sports.
Yeah, like,
Like,
this really
it's obsession.
Yeah. Because I kind of thought this would go in a way of like, oh, well, if you don't want to spend quality time with me, then then I don't want to pay for your tuition. Which is still, it's like that's a conversation can still be had for that. But yeah, this is like, we're not going to think about other options of hanging out with each other. This isn't like...
And also, OP's not even saying that they don't want to watch sports with them. They're saying, I don't like how you make negative commentary.
Yeah, so it's like, if you just, maybe you're just a little bit more positive
Yeah.
and supportive of these people, then I would want to do it.
Yeah. OP's like, that's your dream, Dad, not mine.
Not mine. Exactly.
I don't want to watch sports. I wanna go to class.
I want to, yeah.
Comment 1, take advantage of the time you have at college to talk to your counselors and financial aid. They want you to finish your degree and they understand that sometimes parents go crazy. Only you can decide if a gap year is right for you, but once you get a job and start making rent and car payments, it can be really hard to find time to finish your degree. Since you're already mostly done, I think you'd maximize your chance of success by pushing through to graduation. OP says, that's my main fear about taking a break. Once you do, it may be hard to get back into the swing of things, but I do think that a break might be beneficial if I'm able to move out and be more efficient in my work without the stress at home. So it's a tough decision. Comment 2 says, don't take a break. Keep going and figure the finances out along the way, even if you have to take one class at a time. I worked while at college and paid the tuition myself. I did a payment plan with the university. OP says, I didn't think of reducing class load. That would probably cause less stress while trying to make the financials work. Thanks for the suggestion. Another reply says, stay in school. Speaking from personal experience, it detoured me for 8 years before I got my degree. Working full-time and trying to squeeze in classes was very difficult. And I had to take horrible jobs because I didn't have a degree. Tolerate your parents and use this as an exercise of learning how to ignore people whom you disagree with. It will be great practice for your career. And there is a second update, or just the first update, I think. 10 days later, do you have any thoughts before we jump in?
Yeah, I think with taking a gap year, it's really just whatever works for you.
Yeah.
For some people, it works because, if you don't think you're ready for it, once you are ready for it, you're really ready to get back into school. And so, getting into the swing of things isn't, as hard. But in other situations, it is difficult because if you do start working, it's hard to stop and then take a break for school or take time off for school or something like that. So it really depends on you, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I agree.
But there are financial aid and stuff that you could try.
Yeah. You would have to talk to them, and hopefully your parents, don't take you on as a dependent. Cause it's a bit hard to prove that you're not being given tuition money or helped by your parents if they are not, willing to be we're not helping you.
Also, community college.
Yeah,
great option.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
want to be in debt.
Yeah, I think I have friends, or I had friends that paid for one semester of their college, first year in, and I'm 4 or 5 years into doing community college, haven't even spent that much yet in their one semester. So
Update 10 days later, almost all of the advice I received was to stay in school, and I'd love nothing more. A break can turn into years quickly from what I've heard, and some suggested using the semester that's already paid for as a time to find bearings for the next semester. I took advantage of my school's free counseling offerings and booked a session with a counselor to discuss my options. We discussed financial aid, payment plans, and campus jobs in addition to finding a full-time job off campus. I have 2 part-time jobs, but hours are inconsistent and they don't pay great. Even if I take fewer classes per semester, I believe staying in school would be the best option. I have another session with my counselor coming up where she said we can talk more about it. I also told her about the situation that led to my parents changing their mind on tuition, and saying what I felt out loud helped me find some additional realization. According to my counselor, I internalized a lot of it because my parents weren't receptive. So talking to her was therapeutic in a way. With my family always being a big sports family, hosting Super Bowls parties, going to many games, siblings and I playing sports. Sports was the thing we bonded over for all my life. Heck, it was a foregone conclusion that we skip church on Super Bowl Sunday to prepare for guests and on Championship Sunday for the gentlemen's finals at Wimbledon in the morning. But somewhere along the way, it became less fun to watch sports with them due to the things I mentioned in my previous post. Mom, more so than Dad, but he has his moments and agrees with her stances, began infusing her political beliefs into sports and other areas, and it tainted the very thing our family bonded over. Sports is often an escape from work and stress, something that people on both sides of the political aisle can come together over and cheer for the same team at a stadium or party. Ignorant bliss plays a role in that, of course, but as humans, I believe it's important to come together to find community, and sports is one of the most common ways to do so, despite our differences. When those differences caused my parents to decide to walk back their agreement to split tuition, it hurt because it felt like I was being punished for my different opinion. I love sports because it brings people together in a world where it's so hard to do so genuinely. At one of my retail jobs, our managers have huddles with team members with cheesy slogans, monthly themes, and team building activities that coworkers laugh at once the huddle ends and criticize for being fake enthusiasm. But sports unifies people like nothing else. And I'm sad that watching sports became tainted over the years at home. The only time sports isn't tainted in my family is when we go to my siblings' games to cheer them on. And that's because no politics are involved. Every family has their own thing, and I've seen many at church when I used to go. From musical families at church who have members in the choir or orchestra, to missionary families who travel together, every family has things they bond over. And sports began to change in our family because it became less fun to watch with mom and dad. I'd love to move out sooner rather than later, but I'm weighing all of my options. Staying in school remains the priority, and I hope I'm able to find more work soon. I'm glad to have found a nice counselor who has options, such as payment plans. The payment plan is the one I'm hoping to utilize. And by the way, I hope that you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there are some comments to finish up this story. Do you have any final comments of your own?
I mean, seems like things are a little better.
Yeah, it
Right?
seems like it's all working out. I mean, not
Yeah.
with your parents, clearly.
Sure.
But it seems like you're, figuring it, and you have people
Yeah.
who are looking out for you, which is
yeah,
really great.
right. You've got options.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you know how I guess nice sports are
Mhm.
with the community and everything, or how they can be.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm sure it'll feel good once you find people that agree with you
Mhm.
on that and on like the positivity around it too. And I feel like that'll just like feel really good too, to just be like, I can enjoy sports again.
Yeah.
But yeah, best of luck to you. I hope that I hope that this payment stuff goes through and you're able to get that financial aid. And I
Mhm.
hope that someday your parents can just kind of calm down about that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's so I do think that sports can be it can cause a lot of like obsession and like single-mindedness. Because there's just like so much, I don't know, like cult like following that can, come about with sport teams and stuff. And I think like
Mhm.
it seems like these parents are
They're
being drawn into that.
quite devoted.
But yeah, hopefully they can find their way back and realize that it's just a game
Yeah.
and you could
Yeah.
enjoy it and also not kick out your child.
Yeah.
Over it.
exactly.
But some comments. Rick Russell TX, take advantage of the time you have at college to talk to your counselors and financial aid. They want you to finish your degree and they understand that sometimes parents go crazy. This is the same one. Okay. Admissions lottery. First, so sorry your mother is an open bigot and your father supports her, but good on you for drawing the line. I teach at college and urge you to follow all of this thread's advice and go to talk to your school's financial counselors ASAP. You should also talk to your advisor and or department professors that you like. There can be bursaries or hardship funds available if you ask enough people. If you find it financially unfeasible to finish your degree at your current school, consider transferring to a lower cost school. You have the time to research this right now and should jump on the first step, the financial office. If you need to go part-time, that is better than dropping out and returning, because so many times life gets in the way of that return. Try to stay on course and not let this incredibly mean and damaging move by your parents disrupt your future. All the best to you. And that is the end of that story.
I exposed my friend's awful actions to a matchmaker, and now he's blacklisted by everyone. I, 39 female, am friends with this guy we'll call Jake, 42 male. We worked at the same place for a long time. I branched out, and he still works there. No, we were never romantic, but due to common interests, we became friends. I don't find him visually appealing, and he
Get
doesn't
roasted,
find me
Jake.
attractive either. It all works out. By the way, this comes from user CrabAppleGirl86, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give you good advice, Goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. Recently, Jake came into a financial windfall. It wasn't enough to live off, but it was enough to let him buy a place of his own, since he lived with his folks before this. A nice weekend fun car, as he calls it, and enough money saved to where if he ever does get laid off from his job, he won't be in financial dire straits until he finds a new one. One of the things he splurged on was the services of a matchmaker, because despite his newfound financial situation, he still could not find someone. In one weird twist, the service he contracted is run by a woman that I am personally friends with. When Jake asked me, "Why didn't you hook me up before with them?" all I could say was, "Sorry, honey, you couldn't afford them before." I didn't say it to be mean, it was the truth. One thing about Jake is that he will sometimes make online videos opining about random subjects, which get hardly any views. He thinks it's because in order to go viral, spouting off on a topic, you have to be an attractive woman who is bi or sapphic, a man with a British accent, or a raging right-winger, or you need to post something completely outlandish that will get people talking. He recently posted something that could get people talking, and it got almost no views again, which is a good thing, and I'll explain why. He spent several minutes talking about how he creates AI video clips showing two women making out, but whined that he cannot post them publicly because there is a chance one of the women depicted in the AI could sue him. He literally said, quote, "These are sadly for my eyes only because the last thing I need is to be dragged into court because a woman got big mad that I created a few 5-second clips of her Frenching her bestie or whomever,
Why are
which
we
is
friends
a
with
shame,
this guy?
as I know they would get a ton of views." When I saw this, I called him to ask if he was trolling. He said no. I asked if I could see them because I was curious as to what AI could do. So I came to his new house and he showed me some. These clips are very realistic and could easily fool people if they didn't know it was AI. Now, he apparently came to his senses and deleted the video talking about it, but not before he shared a screenshot of a DM conversation he had where someone begged him to take the video down while it still had no real views, because if a girl he liked saw it, she would get the ick so bad. He actually told the person, "What about the men who are harmful and or controlling? Is that not an ick?" The person told him, "Yes, but they aren't stealing real women's social media pics to create AI without their consent either." I had a feeling he was going to delete the post showing the DM once he deleted the video, so I saved it before he did. I decided to send it to my friend who runs the matchmaking service and said, "I know this dude is my friend, but please be aware he admitted to downloading pictures from random women's social media accounts to create AI kissing content without their consent. I'm talking about tongues in the mouth type French kissing." She thanked me for letting her know. One day later, I noticed Jake posted on his socials, "Was set to go see a matchmaker today, but an hour before the meet, they canceled on me and refunded my money. When I asked why, they said it was an internal matter. Guess they don't like money." He asked me if I had any inside info. I told him, sometimes my friend just declines to work with people at the last minute. It happens.
Honestly, I don't think you should have done that. I think you should
No.
tell him the truth.
Yeah, I think you're protecting that man at that
Yeah.
point, and you need to tell him how it is, and that that girl that DM'd him was right, and that he's being a disgusting, icky human.
I didn't want to tell him why, as I know he might accuse me of meddling or sabotaging over a private interest.
Who cares?
Am I the a-hole for doing this? Some people are saying I did my matchmaker friend a favor. Others are saying I should have just let things play out. Some said I meddled. One said I should have let the matchmaker know after she set him up with someone so she could let his date know, because once a date happens, she doesn't get refunds. Apparently, my matchmaker friend forwarded the screenshot I sent her to the other matchmakers in the area, because this man posted on his socials that he tried some other matchmakers. But as soon as they see his name and picture, they say no to working with him, but won't say why. Oops. Comment number 1. We've got comments. Not the a-hole. Guarantee those few in the comments defending him would change their tune if it was AI of them tonguing other dudes. Comment 2, downvoted 15 times. Sounds like you're the a-hole. He hasn't shown anyone besides you the videos. He deleted the video talking about it. He realized he made a mistake. You took something he showed you in confidence and used it to ruin his dating chances, yet you still call yourself his friend. OP says, according to him, I'm repeating what he told me. Such videos are legal under current laws if they are intended for private viewing. He also claims after doing research, even if he was to post them publicly, an AI video solely depicting French kissing doesn't rise to the level of what is considered illegal under that new Take It Down Act. Anyway, as the women are fully clothed and aren't engaging in any spicely related intercourse activities. Of course, there is still a possibility a woman can use tort laws to sue, but again, he claims he did research and the chance of her winning is actually low. She would have to prove it damaged her reputation, but still, he doesn't want to take the chance of it happening. While not exactly something that could land him in the slammer, it could result in being dragged into civil court, and there's an update. Well, apparently Jake saw the Reddit thread, put two and two together, and confronted me about it, so I had no choice but to confess it was me. I let him know I did him a favor, and here's why. Once my matchmaker friend sets a client up with someone and they go out on a date, she considers her job done and services rendered, and doesn't give refunds, but it isn't really about the money. It really isn't about the money, Spider-Man. Let's say she sets him up with someone and the woman in question finds his creations, which are literally right there in his downloads folder. How long will it be before said woman complains that the matchmaker, possibly via all over the internet, set her up with a person that in essence is creating AI of real people using images taken from their social media? There is also a chance that the woman might not blame the matchmaker, but publicly try to name and shame him. I don't 100% approve of what he's doing, but I don't think it's worthy enough of putting him on blast on an app like T or whatever. Girl, you're putting him on blast on a Reddit post right now. What are you on about? I will admit that on some of the T's clips, the finished outfit actually looks nicer than the original one.
Excuse me?
But again, he's doing all of this without consent.
Excuse
Outfits? Why are we're gonna give him credit for making nice AI slop that I guarantee you's not nice? Many of these were women in media testing promo shots of what they wear on air. I don't think they expect to have them used for a fantasy of pulling their outfits down to show practically half their front airbags.
Oh. If I knew someone, like a guy friend who did this, I'd be like, that's disgusting.
I'd be so
I
disgusted.
never want to talk to you again.
They would be blocked. I'd
Yeah.
be telling other people, like, I'm uncomfortable to be around that person.
Yeah, I don't mean to paint a picture here, but I'm going to paint a picture of what is in my head of
I
this
don't want you to
of this
paint
person. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platform. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, just search OK Storytime. And you can listen and 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 listen some more.
I don't like anybody.
Except the matchmakers who rightfully were like, oh yeah, I'm not going to help this guy get a
Yes.
date.
Heck yeah,
This
to the
guy?
system of matchmakers that have banded together
Yeah.
to make sure he stays without matchmaking
Oh,
services.
the guy posting online with his whole chest about how he wishes he could post his non-consensual AI, like, spicy content without any repercussions or fear of being prosecuted because he's using real people. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get him a date.
No, sorry.
You can go date your AI girls. To answer some questions based on the comments, I don't think this is worthy of dropping the friendship over. No, he doesn't have any of me that you know
that
of.
you know of. He's just not showing you those ones. OP, you are starting to sound a little silly goofy.
Yeah. Thanks to the one comment mentioning it, I let him know that if he ever posts the deepfakes publicly, they could cause problems if the woman's family or friends are closet guards and think they're real. He did acknowledge that's another reason, but he also said, in reality, it's 2025. Who's gonna give a crap if they're in a clip kissing another female? Honestly, I think all this stems from him watching spicy content for so long that he expects women to, quote, perform for him. And if he knows they won't, he has turned to AI. I was telling him about an article I saw that many femme are now going for other femmes, and he said, yeah, Instagram has a ton of those femme couples, but I can't stand how they just peck on the lips for the camera. Where's the passion? They have tongues. Use them.
Oh my god. He's like, yeah, all of those femme for femme couples aren't catering their kissing pictures to me, a man. Messed up.
I need you to never talk to this man again, or else I'm fully at this point considering you to be just as bad.
Comment 1 says, gross that you'd stay friends with this disgusting piece of trash. Comment 2, you think he's still worth being friends with? The bar really is in hell, and that is the end of that story.
Glad some people called OP out for that one.
My mother-in-law canceled Christmas because she doesn't want to give my son a gift.
Your son gets nothing but thoughts and prayers.
And we do have a trigger warning for verbal mistreatment. Hello, everyone. At last, it's time for a joyous holiday season of discussing Christmas at the in-laws. To preface, my future mother-in-law has not been a fan of mine since I started dating her son. I have an 8-year-old son from a previous relationship, and he considered my partner, who we will call Bill, as his dad. We also have a 6-month-old daughter together. By the way, this comes from user DubsyPop, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon,
I'm Dakota.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you do in the comments, please. And Opie says, due to Bill's mother and the rest of his family not liking me, they claim it's because I had a child before I met Bill and that I have a tattoo. I've never spent a holiday over there. Bill always came to my family events, so I figured it was time for me to spend one with his family. A couple months ago, we had a family meeting and discussed all the issues, laying everything out on the table, and I genuinely thought we were moving forward and starting fresh. Mother-in-law apologized and was even called out by sister-in-law for being manipulative. I truly thought this was the end of the issues. A month ago, I texted mother-in-law to ask about Christmas plans and let her know that I wanted to ensure my son would be included in the holidays too. She beat around the bush about it, but silly me thought she would have some sense as to not exclude an 8-year-old during Christmas. I was completely wrong. In a recent group text between her, Bill, and myself, she said that she wanted to do a family Christmas present opening ceremony before the rest of her family got there for lunch. I asked if my son was going to be included and stated that if he wasn't, we would not be coming for the present opening ceremony so as not to make him feel left out. Bill and I hoped that in saying this, she would say that my son would be included and that she was excited to have us over. Nope, not the case. Mother-in-law replied that we could just have another Christmas when my mom was able to watch my son, so it could be a family-only thing. I texted her back, although I didn't say all of the vulgar things I really felt. I stated that if she cannot accept my son as an addition to the family, welcome him with open arms, I could no longer have either of my children involved in their family. I told her that we wouldn't be over for Christmas and that I truly hope she would reconsider what she is doing and how she is behaving. I told her that when she is ready to make more Christian-like decisions, as she claims to be a devout Catholic, she could apologize to me and Bill, and we would decide if we were going to forgive her for what she did to our family. Bill is conflicted because his grandpa is ill, and this may be the last Christmas he has. His mother also has him enmeshed, which he is trying to work out in therapy, but does have lapses in judgment on occasion. To put it into perspective, mother-in-law has told Bill that if he and I lived together unmarried, despite having a baby, she would make him pay back every dime of Catholic school that she forked out for him. We do live together, and she can suck it. She's the only one like this. I've met mother-in-law's parents and siblings, and they all apologize for how she treats me and my children. They claim they don't know why she's like this, and even assured me that she's the only person that acts like that in their family, and that they are not like her at all. Nonetheless, Bill is super upset because he wanted to spend time with the family that he didn't see often, but he doesn't want to upset me. We even discussed him taking the baby so she could meet his aunts and such, but I don't even know if that's what I would be okay with. Why should I split my kids up on Christmas? Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about my son not getting material items. It's the fact that mother-in-law is willing to push Christmas presents to another day instead of making an attempt to include my son. Even if it was a dollar store dinosaur toy, my son would be grateful. I hate that mother-in-law keeps putting Bill and me in these positions where we have to decide what to do. Why can't she accept me and my son? She doesn't even fully accept our daughter because we aren't married. She dotes on sister-in-law's baby and even makes comments about how he is the favorite. I'm so upset. She can think what she wants about me, but she's being horrible to my son. And that's where I draw the line. I'm willing to hear any feedback, and we have some comments.
Yeah.
I mean, if everyone is so anti-mom's thoughts and ideas, if you think it's going to be, well, here's the thing. It could be also very scarring to a child to see an adult, especially like a family member in this case, go off like that. Maybe don't go. But the fact that your husband, Bill, is like, oh, what should I do? Well, should I do what mommy wants or what my family wants? The fact that he's really in that debacle, very crazy.
Yeah, I think it's very clear. You silly baby, your mom or your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
You show up. If you bring gifts for your son, and I doubt she's gonna even make it like a big blow up. It'll probably be like something she just does under her breath, and all you do is you just silly baby that away. And if she says anything about him not being in the family, you go, oh, yeah, he is. What are you, crazy? You're so silly.
I would get her a
Silly little baby.
I would, get everyone Christmas presents. If you are doing this, deciding to go over, get everyone Christmas presents, get her a piece of coal, and you can say, shove this up your butt because it's so tight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to make a diamond.
Mm-hmm. There's some comments. Comment number 1. She is a see you next Thursday. She would rather lose her son than admit she is wrong. Would it be possible for y'all to have the family over without her to exchange presents, even if it is after Christmas? I would have a couple presents wrapped with only the to address to make sure son has something to open. OP responds with, we have plans with my mom on Christmas Eve and Christmas morning and now afternoon. His family travels from out of town, so I don't think that's possible. His grandparents live only a couple hours away. I'm sure we could at least venture out to see them, even if it's not a Christmas-themed visit. Comment number 2 says, I wouldn't worry about what to do. The thing to do is avoid her. She doesn't want to be inclusive, period. Partner can see her if he wants for a couple of hours, but you and your children stay home. What she is doing is harmful for both of them. Partner and you can seek out the other relatives without her. And by the way, you can seek more episodes with stories like this by listening to your favorite podcast app, such as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and searching up OK Storytime.
Yeah.
There's a little bit left here. I mean, why give her the satisfaction? If Bill, your partner, really needs to see her, I mean, it's been said in the comments. Like, invite them over to your place or just don't deal with her. She sounds like just the worst time of
I don't even think it's
space.
for her, dude. Like, he's saying it his grandpa's, like, ill. It might be his grandpa's last Christmas. I think you guys do. I don't think you should just flat out avoid her for this. I think you should go, and then if she presses an issue and she doesn't change her, if she doesn't start singing a different tune, then it's like, all right, that was your test run. Goodbye Christmas, goodbye Easter, goodbye holidays. You're not seeing our kids anymore because you're deranged. But I wouldn't
everyone's calling
deprive
her
that
out for
last
it, yeah.
moment of like Christmas with grandpa, whatever. Because I don't think, and I mean, if she's going to have a conniption, like, yeah, you don't want to scar your children. But if you think she's just going to be like huffy and annoying about it under her breath, because, an 8-year-old's not necessarily going to pick up on all the nuanced, like, social politics going on in the family. It's Christmas. He's going to open presents and then play with them.
You want to make the kids' holiday the best it can be.
Yeah.
Her being involved, I don't think it's going to be that. So, we have an update. We had a phone conversation with the in-laws to try to settle things and gave them a chance to make things right. Father-in-law called me a witch, screamed other things at me, and said, I hate being told that I'm wrong. And father-in-law threw things for
Wow.
me, simply asking that they see my point of view about why this is upsetting to me. Point proven on why they are in-laws from heck.
Yeah. I think maybe if the father-in-law is throwing stuff around and screaming at you, nah, don't go. Don't go at all.
What's Bill doing in this situation?
Yeah.
It better be defending you. I sincerely hope they can find peace in their decisions. Needless to say, we will not be seeing them anymore. So sad. I wish I could say that I'm stunned, but I'm not. The good point is, mother-in-law from heck apologized for father-in-law's behavior. No contact is where we sit and where we will stay.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, invite those family members that you want to hang out with or that treat you right over. Your in-laws, they can stay away.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you can go on a trip to grandma's house, have a little thing there. But yeah, that's insane. Father-in-law screaming and throwing stuff because he's like, someone told me I'm wrong. Ah! It's crazy.
You're like, that's not very Catholic of you.
Yeah.
And they go, ah!
Ah!
But that is the end of that story.
My stepdaughter reprimanded me for my clothes because her friends saw me in it.
Well, who cares?
Is it appropriate or common for a woman to wear a tank top around teens who are not her own? I, 41 female, recently became a stepmom to 3 children, including a 13-year-old girl. My husband, 37 male, and I have been married only since July. This is my first time living in a house with children as an adult. By the way, this comes from user Mom Using Throwaway. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Savannah.
And I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't know everything. Our sunglasses prevent us from seeing the truth. So if you know the truth, tell us in the comments below. And OP says, last Saturday, my stepdaughter, a freshman in high school, had friends over. All I did was introduce myself. I was sweaty and gross from doing house chores all day. I was wearing a tank top and leggings. The tank top was sweaty. Not cute at all. Yesterday, my stepdaughter said I was dressed inappropriately when her friends were over. She showed me a message exchange she had with one of her friends, who's 13, male, over social media. In response to one of her questions, the boy answered that I was smoking hot. And I don't see myself that way. She said that I should dress appropriately since I'm her mom now. By the way, it felt good that even though she was upset with me, she still called me her mom. She went on to say that she feels grossed out that her mom stole her crush's attention and that she can't like him anymore because of me. Last night, when I asked my husband, he said he wasn't sure if my clothes on Saturday were appropriate or inappropriate around teenage boys. He said that maybe I shouldn't dress like that around teenage boys. He said that as a former teenage boy, they're hormonal and crazy. Was I dressed inappropriately? Am I the a-hole? We've got some comments. Comment 1, I think you should be more focused on how your stepdaughter feels than wondering whether or not you're dressed appropriately around her friends. She told you her friends were making comments about it that made her uncomfortable, and I would respect her communicating that to you. You're not the a-hole for wearing normal clothes, for doing chores around the house. But now you know 13-year-olds think you're smoking hot, and I personally would cover up a bit if I knew they were coming over, just because your stepdaughter is asking you to. OP says, thank you. I am concerned about how she feels. I felt like I had to ask because I didn't want to unknowingly wear anything inappropriate. And
but the thing is not, I don't think it's gonna change if you were to wear something that was more like coverage, because he's not saying, oh my God, your stepmom's body is like so hot. He just thinks you are hot. So he's going to think you're hot regardless of what you're wearing, and is probably going to make those comments because he's this 13-year-old boy.
You got to go full skater tomboy.
Yeah, you start
Full-blown
wearing
skater
like a
tomboy
short
Tony Hawk.
wig.
We're like what Billie Eilish wears, like covers her entire body.
Beep, 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 doo doo doo. OP on how her body autonomy and how clothes affect their comfort. OP says, I'm a little overweight, but I used to be much bigger. I actually lost over 100 pounds, so you're right. Short sleeves suck for plus-size women. For now, I've changed what I wear to make my stepdaughter more comfortable. Sweaters and shirts with a jacket. It feels weird, and I sweat a lot more, but it's fine. But her and I have talked today. I'm trying to teach her that girls and women shouldn't blame themselves for the actions of boys and men. That my change is for her comfort and not because I was doing anything wrong. She's smart and she's understanding, so I'll probably be parading in tank tops again very soon. And there's an update from 3 days later. That's pretty soon.
I like that. I like that a lot. Good approach.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I can't help it, but I will wear 5 layers for you.
I agree with Van Campaneta with dressing like Adam Sandler.
Van Campenator.
That's hot.
Yeah, just dress in gym shorts and Hawaiian shirts.
Really long shirts.
Long style basketball shorts and a Hawaiian shirt that in no way matches the color scheme of what else you have on. 3 days later. Before I give the update, can men please stop messaging me? It makes my husband very uncomfortable. I am a happily married woman with unga bungas, and I appreciate the compliments from the ones I've responded to, and I appreciate them for understanding my boundaries. I have made efforts to wear sweaters or jackets. Today I talked to my stepdaughter after school, and I explained to her that girls and women shouldn't take the blame for what boys and men do. I explained to her that I'm dressing definitely to make her feel comfortable, but I didn't do anything wrong by wearing a tank top in front of those boys. And by the way, you can wear whatever you want while you listen to full episodes with stories like this. And just go to iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts and search OK Storytime to find them. And you can literally wear 100 t-shirts on top of each other like a Weezer music video, and we will not stop you.
How fun.
Is that Weezer?
You can wear whatever you want.
That was Weezer. Yeah.
I don't know.
You can wear like a clown suit. And go
Don't do that. Don't work.
We can't stop you. But there is
I'll
a
stop
little
you.
bit left of this story, and we can't stop here. So we must continue.
Yeah.
She thanked me. She said she's dating a different boy, not the guy she originally had a crush on. 3 days later?
Yeah, I mean, she's
like,
13.
Yeah,
She's
3 days
13,
later.
What do you mean?
I thought Jimmy was the love of my life. Then he said he liked your bazingas, and now I like Johnny. Me and Johnny are going to Marriage Town. That boy was one of her friends who was there on Saturday. My stepdaughter said that she's not going to ask this boy what he thinks of me, and that she doesn't want to know.
Well, why would that be the first? By the way, what do you think of my mom?
And he just goes,
Dang it, not again. This happens every time. Mom, put on a sweater.
Mom, every time I ask boys what they think about you, they make monkey sounds.
Unga bunga, mommy.
I told her she's intelligent, kind, and a gorgeous girl who better know her worth. She seemed to be in good spirits about the whole thing, so a happy ending, I guess. And there's some more comments. Comment 1 says, I think you handled this well. You shouldn't take the blame, but if it makes your daughter more comfortable and doesn't inconvenience you that much, it seems like the polite thing to do, which you did. No a-holes.
Nah.
Nope, he says, thank you. You get it. You freaking get it, dude. I wasn't wrong, but just changing to make her comfortable. Yeah, and apparently there's a bunch of people being like, send me pics of yourself in clothing, normal clothing.
My. Of course.
OP says,
Let me see. I need an example.
OP says, without posting a picture, I got hundreds of messages. Hundreds!
Oh my god.
The few who got an innocent picture, I was expecting disappointed. Like, I'm just a slightly chubby middle-aged woman. But they went crazy over it. Why did you send any pictures
Yeah,
to
that was-
any of these
yeah,
people?
I would've
What is
said
wrong
none.
with you?
I would have
Are
been
you
like,
new to this? Are you new to this world?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Have you
know.
not been on the internet before? What are you doing?
Maybe not. She wanted feedback.
This is all just proof that I don't understand men. I don't know what they want. An unexpected aspect of posting here made me realize just how deep my insecurities are. I'm a happily married woman, yet I still ended up entertaining some of these messages from men. And that's my issue. I'm lucky that my husband was so understanding about it. I do admit I have deep-seated insecurities. And that's the end of that story.
My uncle freaked out because of me.
At least now we know his true colors.
Purple, magenta, orange.
This happened last winter. I, 32 female, was invited to my aunt's 50th surprise party last year. The party was organized by my uncle, 49 male, who is generally a pretty gruff guy. By the way, this comes from Orange Blossom 293. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give you some good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We would only tell you what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in the comments. I grew up in a small town in the Midwest and moved away to escape small town politics, everyone knowing my business and the general scrutiny. I don't go back much aside from holidays to see my family. My family and I don't share similar views, and a lot of the older males in my family tend to have gruff and aggressive demeanor. My uncle historically did not listen to my aunt and tended to put her down frequently over trivial things. They have been on the brink of divorce a few times throughout their relationship, something I learned over the last year from my mom, my aunt's older sister. I was told that my uncle had been working on his drinking and aggression after my aunt asked him to reflect on his actions and the way he talks to her, and he did for a while. When my uncle told me he was throwing her a surprise 50th birthday party, I was over the moon for her. He was providing her with a grand gesture. The day of the party arrived, and my husband and brother drove 2 hours to my hometown to attend. It took place at a local bar that my aunt and uncle liked, and it was a great turnout. All of her friends, family, her kids, my cousins, and special people were there. She was so surprised. When she walked in and hugged me, she cried and was happy that my brother and I were there since we drove from out of state. I told her we were happy to be there and had nothing to do with the planning. It was all my uncle. I was proud of him, and my aunt was beaming. My uncle let us know that he had an open tab and would be covering drinks like beers. My cousins, her adult children, ages 23 through 27, and I have a tradition of taking terrible fruity shots together at holiday gatherings. Naturally, I ordered 5 to 6 shots to distribute to my cousins, my aunt, my mom, and my aunt's girlfriends. About an hour or two later, we were all having a great time, including my uncle. This is when everything came to a head. My uncle, very intoxicated, got the tab from the bartender and instantly became belligerently upset. He started yelling at the young bartender, saying that only beers were supposed to go on the tab. The bartenders looked to be about 21 to 23 years old and were visibly shaken by how loudly he was yelling. The whole bar went silent. My uncle continued to argue and yell at them. I overheard that he was talking about the shots I had ordered, so I went over immediately and apologized to him while he was still yelling at the staff. I said I had misunderstood what his open tab was for and offered to pay for the shots out of pocket. I said to his face, "This is my fault, let me pay for the shots." My mom, standing right next to me, backed me up and said, "We will pay for them." My uncle stared at me as if he didn't understand what I was saying while I apologized, then went back to yelling at the bartenders. While this was happening, my aunt stared on in horror. This was a typical reaction for my uncle, but I never thought he would do this in public on her birthday at an event he organized in front of all of her peers and family. I remember looking at my uncle's brother-in-law, who was glaring daggers at him. My cousins and I looked at each other, feeling completely guilty as the shot takers. My uncle then yelled to the whole bar, "These bartenders are idiots! Everyone come back to my house for beers instead!"
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, yeah, let's all roll up to the belligerent drunk who's yelling at the bartenders. What a cool hang that guy is. Why doesn't everybody want to hang out with me?
Come to my house,
You
free
guys
booze.
all suck.
And if you don't come, your mom's ugly.
I'm gonna take all your car keys and drive all your cars at the same time. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
My aunt tried to take charge and said, No, we are not doing that." My uncle, belligerent, walked away fuming. I took the chance to talk to the bartender, apologized for my uncle's behavior, gave her a large tip, and my mom and I split the cost of the shots. My mom and I huddled nearby, watching my aunt cry. Aw, I was fuming as well. We silently consoled her and hugged her. My husband had stepped away to use the restroom and missed the whole incident, which I was thankful for. He knows my family has a history of verbal aggression, but has never witnessed it firsthand. When he came back, he asked what had happened, and my brother and I caught him up. While explaining, my mom was still consoling my aunt. I checked in, and they told me that my uncle's brother-in-law had driven him back to his house. The other guests trickled out quickly. No one went to their home to continue the party because it was ruined. It lasted about 3 hours before it imploded. Even though I took accountability for the shots and the misunderstanding, I felt awful that my action directly contributed to my uncle's outburst. My aunt cried on her birthday, the party was ruined, and we all went home. About a month later, my aunt moved in with my mom full-time and started considering divorce. By spring, they were officially divorced. My aunt still lives with my mom and is very happy. I cannot get past the guilt of having a hand in this. They never had a great relationship during my life, but I can't help feeling that my misunderstanding of the tab was the catalyst for their divorce. I feel terrible writing this because I know logically that I did everything I could to remedy this situation, but I still made a mistake by misunderstanding the tab rules and inadvertently contributed to their marital breakdown.
Nah, you're not at fault for that. Come on now. Come on. You didn't turn him into a drunk. He was already that.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think, this guy had problems way before you even came into the picture. And now that just, anything. People like that, anything is going to set them off. So, you cannot take it personally. You did that and obviously that wasn't your intention. Your intention was to have fun with your cousins because you never really see them because you live out of state. And it's like a tradition that you do. So, and also you righted your wrongs by paying for the shots. So, none of this, this is not your fault.
Yeah, literally a situation that should have just been, who ordered these?
Yep.
Oh, no, I was only covering, brewskis.
Yeah.
So, you going to pay for these? Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like these. If you go to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app, and just search OK Storytime.
It's that easy, folks.
True.
It's just that easy.
Truly is. I recognize that I messed up by ordering shots. I truly don't know how I interpreted beers as anything, including 6 shots.
Because it's just their drinks.
Yeah.
He's like, I got the drinks covered, essentially is what he said.
Dumb.
But he He meant very literally, just one kind of drink.
That was a big mistake on my part.
Nah.
And for that, I am an a-hole, I know.
No, it was actually like a really, really small, understandable mistake. It was really just a miscommunication on your uncle's part.
Yeah. You know, it's a party. Everyone wants to celebrate. Include the booze. All of it. Don't leave things out. Anyway, my mom and I went 50-50 on the shots because she insisted, as one of the shot takers. I could have asked my cousins to help pay as well, but we wanted the order to be over quickly. I asked because I've had extreme guilt over ruining a relationship, toxic or not. I try to be the best person I can and do no harm in any way I can. I don't feel like I can take credit for saving her, as she may have come to the divorce decision anyway, but I hate knowing that I was involved in her distress and embarrassment.
I have a strained relationship with my stepmother, and it definitely ruined Christmas.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I, 20 male, have a rocky relationship with my parents. When I was 18, every night I had to put my phone away at 1800 in their bedroom. I, as the rebellious teenager I was, got a second phone to talk to my now fiancé. By the way, this comes from user ShotChemistry4009, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, because we're a bunch of goofballs. All right? That's what we know. We know that. And what you know is a mystery to us, so let us know what you know in the comments. And OP says, well, one day, my stepmom, 50, female, walked into my room early in the morning and found it. My second phone. She yelled at me and asked if I even wanted to live with her anymore. As I was sick of having to walk on eggshells in the house, I said no and chose to go live with my mother again. Fast forward a few months, my fiancée got pregnant with our son. It wasn't an ideal situation, as we were both still in high school, but we managed. I moved in with her parents and took care of her and eventually our son. Ever since I left, my relationship with my parents has been rocky, and I only ever talked to them rarely at work. Around the time my son was born, politics were really starting to ramp up. 2024 elections. She was on one side, I was on the other. We started jabbing at each other on Facebook and sometimes in person. I usually tried not to react when she said something online, but once she started replying to what I had to say, I started reacting back. This all culminated in her bringing something up at the hospital when my son was born, and I got fed up and argued. I remembered her starting it, yet she tells me that all the political arguments we've had were started by me. A few months after my son was born, my fiancé and I had our anniversary. We were going to have them watch our son while we had dinner. My fiancée was nervous as she hasn't really had anyone other than us and her parents watch him. And we are only okay with her parents watching him because we've seen them take care of him before they started doing it independently. We wanted to come over the night before to make sure everything was going to be all right. We were nervous. Anyway, they canceled watching him over that and were very upset. Friends and family we spoke to said it was a reasonable request, and I viewed it as a good opportunity to hang out with them. After the election happened, I waved at her at work, and she texted me back to stay on your side of the wall, and I'll stay on mine. A week later, I had food poisoning where I was vomiting every 15 to 30 minutes, and I felt the need to go to the ER for an IV because I couldn't keep down water and overall felt absolutely horrible. They gave me an IV and some anti-nausea medication. They were pissed because I was on their insurance, and she was supposed to have knee surgery that required all of the HSA funds. I told them I'd be getting on my own insurance with my son and paying for that HSA, which I eventually did. When the insurance deadline came near, she texted me that I better get it done because she wanted me off their insurance. I was just taking the time to weigh my options. I was 19 and a new dad, just trying to figure it all out. After that last text, I blocked her and went about my day. I was so fed up with everything being a fight with her. I already hardly spoke to her or my dad. Around this time, my grandparents also realized that they were slowly being cut out as well, and we all believe that's due to them having the same political beliefs as I do. A few months later, I left for military training. It was a lot of fun, kind of, but I really missed them and just wanted my parents to support me. I sent my dad a letter saying I was hurt, but really wanted him back. I've been back for almost half a year, and finally on Black Friday, I spoke to them. She didn't take any credit for what happened, and I kind of just took all the blame because I just really wanted them back, and I wanted to start mending things. She was crying and claiming we took my son from them. A day after that conversation, they offered to take me, my son, and my fiance to see Christmas lights today. I said yes after making sure that my fiance was okay with it. But just a bit ago, my fiance said she doesn't know how she feels about seeing the lights, as she doesn't know how my stepmom will react and is afraid my stepmom will say something and my fiance will react. By the way, you can react with shock and joy to the number of full episodes we have with stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple Podcasts. Just search the name of our show, OK Storytime, and you can listen with absolute glee to over 3 months worth of stories.
I thought you were gonna say shock and terror.
No, they're not scary. Not yet. Not yet. There's a little bit left. I mean, yeah, you know,
Yeah, you know.
it sounds like if you're going to keep this relationship, you're just going to have to constantly eat it.
Yeah. I mean, that's luckily everyone in my family is the same, like politically, which is very nice. On both sides of my family, like my dad's side and my mom's side, so it's really nice. Like none of that has to like come up during holidays and stuff. So, but like some people from like my high school and stuff, like when I see them, I'm like, oh no, like you're not what I thought you were. And it stinks because I was friends with them at one point, you know. So I understand politics get in the way of a lot of things and it stinks. But if you want to, you know, keep a relationship with these people, then, you know, you're going to have to bite the bullet sometimes. But it's also your choice to like see them when you want and have very limited contact with them if that's like what's going to be healthy for you. You know, you have to know like your boundaries as well.
Well, let's finish this story.
Okay.
Another issue is that my stepmom wanted to be called Oma. And after she was gone for a while, my son started calling my fiance's mom Oma. My fiance is worried this will be a huge issue. She started crying out of fear my stepmom would be mean again towards me, as she's already seen how hurt I was, and she didn't want me to go through that again. Now the question is, would I be the a-hole if I canceled Christmas lights and maybe asked to have a sit-down that includes my fiance as well? And there are some comments. I don't think you'd be the a-hole. I think you're doing damage control, but I think you can do both. I think you can do Christmas lights and then have a sit-down, you know?
Yeah. I mean, see how like you can test out the vibe, go into the Christmas lights, be like, oh my gosh, how fun. We're a big family again. Lee, how fun. And then be like, all right, now that we have drank all of the hot cocoa and everyone's lights have been dimmed, it is now time to get down to some serious business.
We got bellies full of cocoa. It's time to talk about
We got eyes full of lights.
your no-nos. Comment 1 says, you would be the a-hole for canceling now. If your fiance doesn't want to go, then go with just yourself and your son. Focus on your son and his enjoyment and wonder. Keep things light and practice gray rocking your stepmother if she tries to antagonize you. You do not need to engage in politics, nor do you need to apologize further. If things do get hostile, you can leave. Don't even have to make a big deal out of it. Just turn the stroller around and start walking back to the car. Don't fight, don't react, just walk away. Honestly, like, I get that that's, like, trying not to make a big deal out of it, but doing the silent walk back to the car is gonna, that's gonna make them feisty.
That's
That's gonna make them, I can see the feistiness right now in my mind's eye. You can opt out at any time, but you owe it to yourself to show up if you truly want to mend the relationship. As far as Oma goes, much ado about nothing. As many have also said, I also had Grandma X and Grandma Y. It's not a big deal. If she loses her mind, that's her issue, and not something either of you can control or manage. So again, no reaction, walk away. Comment 2 says, not the a-hole. It sounds as if they want to keep you trapped in their car, unable to leave if she gets ugly. Why not say that you'll visit, but don't want the baby in a car seat for a long time, or some other excuse? Dinner at a restaurant, maybe? It just sounds anxiety inducing to be in a car unable to walk away when she starts in on you and your wife. Comment 3 says your stepmom can apologize to you and slowly rebuild a relationship with you if she wants to. Protect your son from her. It's horrible how much damage a person can do. You effed up by reaching out to them and offering your son before things were made right between the adults. If your fiancé is comfortable with it, you can go with you and your son and let your fiancé avoid her. If your fiancé is not comfortable with your son around that woman, then you should honor that and you need to own your mistake. Apologize to your father and stepmother and ask to either go see the lights as adults or maybe go out to dinner instead on your dime. And that is the end of that story.
My ex said that I was his future while asking for space.
Maybe he wanted to spend his future with you in space, and you
You are
misunderstood.
the future. I, 25 female, am struggling deeply and could really use perspective and support. My ex, 23 male, and I have a long, emotionally intense history. We broke up, but we never really emotionally separated. There is still love, attachment, and unresolved hope on both sides. He tells me he loves me, sees a future with me, and hopes I am the person he builds a life with. Yet at the same time, he says he's unsure and overwhelmed. By the way, this comes from Blooming Blossom. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments.
I actually do have all the answers. Ask me anything.
Ask him anything.
5. Next.
And OP says, we met in June 2022 under intense circumstances. I had just been kicked out of my home and had nowhere to go. And through a mutual friend, he took me in for the night. That night changed both of our lives. We talked until sunrise, opened up about things we had never told anyone, and formed a bond that felt immediate, deep, and unlike anything either of us had had before. At the time, I was in another relationship. Not harmful, but loveless. Yeah, okay. I eventually ended it because I realized I had developed feelings for him. We started seeing each other more. The chemistry grew, and we officially got together in January 2023. From the beginning, our relationship was intense but complicated. Well, because you trauma bonded. We were both dealing with regular use issues when we met. I was struggling and he was struggling. We both quit the night we met. We also both have a lot of trauma. Him and I have a painful past. I am anxious attached and he is fearful avoidant. That's the best combo I've heard, actually. Our relationship has not been smooth. His friends initially disliked me because I did not fit their beauty standard, and they wanted to keep my ex in the same miserable loop he had been in. They pressured him to leave me. His father also pushed him to break up with me because of our age difference. What is the age difference?
I will get
How
that.
old are you? We broke up twice in late 2023 due to outside pressure and his internal conflict, then got back together in January 2024.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
23. OP is 23. And, oh, sorry.
Dude.
No. OP is 25. The X, so on and so forth, is 23.
There's no age gap.
But the thing is, we never really separated. Even after the breakup, we continued acting like a couple. We talk every day, we go on dates, I sleep over at his place, we cuddle, have intimacy, hold hands, plan
You're
the future.
holding hands?
And talk about marriage and kids. And y'all aren't together? Y'all broke up and you're planning marriage and kids? Everyone around us says we act like an old married couple. He says he cannot imagine a future without me and does not want anyone else. Then why are you guys broken up?
Because it feels so good.
During this first year of our relationship, I found some inappropriate messages from early on. There was spicy texting with one girl and dating apps downloaded but not really used. He took accountability, apologized sincerely, and has not repeated those behaviors. I worked through the trust issues with him, but they still left me a bit fragile. Recently, he opened up to me in a very deep way. He admitted that the real reason he keeps pulling away is not lack of love, it is fear. Fear of hurting me, fear of relapsing, fear of losing me, fear of failing, and fear of falling from too high. He said loving me feels overwhelming because I matter so much, and his nervous system goes into panic. After that conversation, he became very anxious and withdrawn for a few days. We worked through it and came back from it even stronger. We've had amazing days together after that. When he is around me, his guard lowers, his gaze softens, his muscles relax, and he genuinely smiles and acts like a puppy around me. Besides his dad, the rest of his family love me, and I'm really close to all of them. His dad is also coming around to me, and he has started to like me too. I have done my best to be supportive and steady, to be the calm in his chaos. I am able to read him like a book. I know exactly how he feels, what he feels, why he feels that way, and where it comes from. Besides external conflicts and disturbance from other people, our relationship has not been bad. You have not told us many good parts of it.
I mean, the good part is that I guess you guys got clean together.
That is
right?
good. You know what? That's a great
That's pretty
thing.
intense, but also kind of an intense baseline to set up, a successful relationship
Yeah.
off of, because, there is a word called relapse that has happened before.
Yeah, and you put all this
And
pressure on the relationship.
Then, yeah, not only that, but then, okay, now if you're in a relationship and your partner relapses, are you going to do that as well?
It's scary. On the contrary, the thing that makes this even harder is that there is nothing wrong with our relationship per se. We communicate well. We push each other to be and do better. Well, it seems somewhat true.
Yeah.
We are understanding, compassionate, loving, compatible, and respectful. We love each other and value each other so much. But now he has asked for 3 weeks of defined space. Also, I just want to go back for a second because you said there's nothing truly wrong with your relationship. For seemingly most of your relationship, you have been broken up and just acting like you're in a relationship still.
Which is not good for the brain.
No intimacy and very limited contact. He says it is not a test, that he will not disappear, and that at the end of the 3 weeks, he will come back with a decision. He says he loves me deeply, but does not trust himself yet to choose me fully and consistently, and he does not want to keep dragging me through uncertainty. This is his message summarized, basically. He said staying close while he's unsure is not fair to me. He asked for 3 weeks of defined space so he can understand himself and decide if he is capable of choosing me fully and consistently, not just when emotions are intense. He promised he would not disappear and that he will come back with a decision at the end of the 3 weeks. I am heartbroken and terrified. I love him more than anyone I have ever loved. He feels like my soulmate, my safe place, and my home. I am scared this space will turn into a permanent breakup. By the way, I don't ever want to break up with you because I want you to keep listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Did you say anything like that about your last relationship? Would be my question for you.
Yeah.
And if this relationship were to sort of fall into a valley of sort of because it sounds very dramatic right now. Y'all are
Yeah.
breaking up but staying together, and there's emotional turmoil and indecision and blah 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 blah. And a lot of people confuse that with oh, but that's what a relationship needs to feel like.
No.
It needs to feel like unstable, or I don't even know if unstable is the right word, but it's there needs to always be something going on that proves that we are working through something together to fix something. And it's
I
once
don't know.
once it settles down, are you gonna be well, dang, if this feels like a loveless relationship?
I was gonna say it sounds like he's giving a lot of what you want to hear and what he not necessarily that, but you say things. He's saying things, but he's not really doing them per se. I don't know.
Per se.
It just doesn't seem like a very healthy relationship, and it seems like you guys both put a lot of pressure on this relationship to fix things in your lives that you need to go figure out separately.
Yeah. You need to come to grips, too, that this relationship started out of infidelity on your part.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like you owned that at all.
I am scared that his avoided attachment and lack of emotional permanence means he will forget how strong our bond is when we are apart. Then that means that you don't have a really strong bond. I am scared of losing him and honestly scared of having to rebuild my life without him. I do not know if I should hold hope or emotionally prepare to let go. That one. Yes. I do not know how to survive these 3 weeks. I do not know if love like this can survive fear like his. If anyone has been through something similar, especially with a fearful, avoidant partner, I would really appreciate insight, honesty, or even just kindness. OP, I would absolutely recommend a therapist and working on your own identity separate from him. Like, who are you without this relationship?
Or who are you without a relationship?
Yeah.
That's took the words right out of my mouth.
You know?
My partner refused a trip I paid for because it made him feel small. In January, I, 36 female, booked a small holiday together with my partner, 41 male. Everything was under my name and paid for everything. He would pay me his half. 3 months later, he told me he couldn't pay me back anymore and asked me to cancel. By the way, this comes from a HelloCath89. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, if I canceled, I would get 90% of my money back and 10% would not be refunded. I decided that I would keep the booking and gift him his part because we both needed to unwind a bit. He didn't like it because it made him feel small. I can't take a gift from my girlfriend because I feel like a small little man.
I want to give you a gift. I wanted to pay for it.
That's so lame. You know, my girlfriend is taking me to sandals. Boom. I don't feel small. I feel pampered.
He feels big.
I feel big.
He feels big.
That I had to care for him. He told me to just cancel it. I told him that I didn't want to and that it was a gift. He could stay at home, but that I was going. But he could come with me. He told me he would come with me. Today is the day we left for our little holiday. He did come, but is screaming to me that what I did was wrong, that I made the choice for him to get you a gift.
Huh?
But I really didn't. I made the choice for me and invited him to come with me without costs. I really wanted a little holiday, but I regret that he's with me. He's extremely mad at me, is unkind, and only says that I manipulated him to feel small. And well, I just wanted to relax. Am I the a-hole for not canceling?
No, you just want to go on a vacation.
Can I hear a little fragile masculinity?
He's so fragile.
Fragile masculinity.
If you touched him, you'd break.
Yeah. This right here, this is fragile masculinity at its finest.
He's so fragile, if you blew on him, he'd fall apart.
He's so fragile that if you gave him a birthday cake, he said, I can bake it myself. Why are you baking it for me?
And then
you think I can't?
And then
I could do anything.
And then he said, but I'm not gonna, because it's not manly.
It's not manly,
I'm not
dude,
gonna
but
bake
I
a cake.
could.
I could do it.
But I could.
But I won't.
You're not the a-hole. That's
No.
ridiculous. You have a fragile,
You're the a-hole
fragile
for
man.
not bringing out my
baby.
boyfriend.
Comments, not the a-hole. Did he offer to cover the cancellation fees, or were you supposed to eat that? But no, of course you're not the a-hole. He didn't have to come. Here's the thing. You don't need a vacation together. If he keeps bugging at you, just get your own room and do your own
Yeah,
thing.
man.
Dude sounds like an insecure jackwagon.
Uh-huh.
Agreed. OP responds. He did offer the cancellation fees, but I just didn't want to cancel. I just don't understand why I have to cancel my plans because he changed his mind because he couldn't afford it anymore. He keeps telling me that I'm the a-hole for not canceling because that was the right thing to do, but I'm unable to see why.
She's paying for it.
Why can I not enjoy a few days away after gifting him this? Why was canceling the only option for him? He only wants me to stay home with him. He wasn't all right with him staying home and not coming with me for free, and I can't understand why I should stay home. I wish I could understand his reason, but I can't. Maybe the reason he gave is not the actual reason. Maybe he can't. Maybe he can't afford it, but there's some other reason he doesn't want to go that he's not telling you. Either way, it still feels
not
like
the a-hole.
either he's a fragile masculine man,
Or he's hiding it.
or he's hiding a dirty secrets. What is his dirty secret? What are your secrets? Comment 2. Why did you force something that he had already told you he could no longer afford and did not want to accept being paid for? Don't really understand why you didn't just tell him to pay you back X amount a month until it was paid for. I don't know. I could see.
what?
I feel like that's maybe. I feel like that's a little bit of a different situation. I could see it's like, hey, Sophia,
Yeah.
let's go on a trip together.
Yes.
No. You can't afford it.
No. I can't afford it.
Oh, okay. Sophia, I just surprised you with this. I surprised you with a trip.
Oh my God, thanks.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also he agreed. To be clear, he agreed. And
He
then,
agreed initially, but said the reason was he couldn't afford it.
Yeah, and then she was like, well, I would love to take you.
Yeah.
Let me pay for it.
OP, I gave him the choice to come with me, but that he didn't have to. I didn't force him.
Yeah.
But he did. Yeah, she didn't. She
force
just
him.
basically was like, I didn't want to cancel it.
Yeah, she wants to go. That's her point. She's
she
like,
wants
you
to
can not
go.
I
You
don't
cannot
care.
go.
I'm
And I
going.
don't. Yeah, and she's like comfortable just
Yeah.
eating the cost.
Yeah.
I didn't force him, but he did say it would look bad that I would go on a little holiday
See?
without him.
This is the thing. It's like, it's not that she's saying, oh, he has to come. She's saying, I'm going whether or not he's coming, and he's upset that I'm still going.
My girlfriend is in Italy right now, and that's freaking sick.
That's freaking cool.
That's freaking.
man.
She's so cool. She sends me little pictures
We
of
love
her
it.
doing cool Italy stuff. I love that.
And I give her a recommendation.
And Sophia gave her a recommendation. That is sick as heck. It's not sick as heck if you're a little fragile little baby boy.
Baby boy.
He wanted me to stay home. Comment 3. In what way are you happy with this person in your life? Like, seriously, I want to know, is he super fantastic in bed? Is he curing cancer? I'm out of ideas after that. Not the a-hole, obviously. OP says he was kind to me and loving. Of course, we have arguments because we were both strong-headed, but something changed a few months ago. Uh-oh. Secret. There's a secret. There's a secret. He's actually not insecure. He just has a secret. He has a secret. We bought a house together. I'm regretting that right now. And well, maybe it's stress, but he's mad at everything and gaslights me that I make him feel like he can't do anything right, like still going on the holiday after he told me he couldn't afford it anymore. And we got an update. What is your guess of what's
About
happening?
the secret?
Yeah, the secret.
I don't know. He's cheating.
There's a secret. Yeah, that's a classic one. Come on,
Classic.
come up with something more interesting.
His mother lives in his basement.
All right. He's either cheating or his mother lives in his basement. I think
And
maybe.
feeds him and makes him cakes. And
I
says, come here, little baby boy.
Little baby boy, here's a
let
little
me
cake.
do your laundry.
Yes.
And he goes, Mummy.
Thanks, Mama.
Mummy, don't be noisy.
Don't be
because
noisy. My
then
wife to
partner-
be will hear.
My wife to be will get up curious.
Get upset. Well, update. I told him we needed a long walk and talk. I won't tell the whole conversation because it was about 2 hours, but basically, it was this. Because I have to help him so much, he feels like a failure. Well, that's not my fault, of course, but I did tell him that he needed to do better. Yes, I earn slightly more, but it doesn't add up that I can save money, help him, and pay my part of the bills, and he can't. I did tell him that maybe he needs to quit smoking and drinking because he does that a lot and couldn't tell me on how much he spends on those things. We live life in the Netherlands, so especially smoking is really expensive here, but yeah, it made him feel that he can't do anything right. He felt that my invite to the holiday was a slap in the face because he again couldn't pay for something himself. I told him that it wasn't fair that I had to put my life on hold because he can't budget his money
Literally,
properly.
That's the thing. It's like OP's not even saying like making him feel bad that he can't pay for
No.
things or expecting him to pay for things. She's just saying, I'm going to do stuff because I can afford it.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't think he's mad that I'm a woman and he's a man or something. It's more that he feels like a failure and needs to react this to others around him. It's sad, but not my fault. I told him that I wanted therapy. He told me once again that he couldn't afford it. So if I wanted it, that I needed to pay for it. Yeah, I don't know. I said that I wanted to enjoy my 5-day holiday and that he could leave if he was going to stay and be a butt. He told me he would man up. We will see. I did tell him that he will never control me, and he promised me that he will never try that. And we have an update. He was spying on me while I was reading some of your answers on my phone. He got extremely mad that I shared private matters with strangers on the internet and was lying. I said that I needed some insights on this from strangers. Apparently, it's wrong to ask the internet and to expose a private matter. I don't know. It's not that someone knows what our real names are. I want to thank you all, though, to take time to read my problem and trying to give me advice. We got another update. Question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think it's wrong to expose private but anonymous details to the internet?
I think it's okay if it's so anonymous.
I think it's okay if it's anonymous.
I mean, that's our whole job, so.
Yeah. And we'd be out of a job if
It
that
would be
wasn't
out of a
okay.
job if it weren't okay.
It's fine. You got to sign on for 2 people that have no vested interest
no
in that being
bias
okay.
at all. It's okay. Keep sending in your stories.
Update 3. It's 4 a.m. here, and I'm still up talking with him. We are going nowhere. It sounded for a little while like we had figured it out, but then it spiraled back down. I just blank out told him that I wanted therapy. He told me that he was okay with that if I deleted this post and only asked the therapist for help. I said no. I feel like that's a little strong-headed. I think
yeah, I think
would.
you could have. I think you could have deleted it.
That I asked you for all the insights. He told me that I just making him look bad on the internet with the lying. I asked him what difference was this with asking you and him calling/chatting a friend. He said he just told one friend and that I exposed him in front of 10,000 people. I told him that you all don't know who I am and that this friend does know who I am. Right now, he keeps telling me that I have to stop writing if I want to save this relationship.
I think that's fair.
I think that's a boundary.
I think that's fair.
I think that's he's setting a boundary. I think that's okay.
I agree. I think for him to say like, hey, please stop writing about this, I think that's very fair.
Yeah, and if you keep writing about it, I think it's a breach of trust.
I agree.
But I feel that this is very, very controlling.
I don't think so.
Maybe I just am not able to understand why a Reddit post is so much more wrong than telling a friend about a problem.
But I think that you can have that boundary of saying like, hey, can you not spread this information while we're figuring it out with your friend?
Yeah. I think you could do that too.
I think you could do it too.
Maybe this is my shortcoming. I asked him why my needs are worth less than his needs, but he just says that I'm manipulating and a liar and I'm sick of it. He acts like everything is in my head or that I'm lying or trying to ruin his life. I know that my story here is one-sided, but I can't tell on how he sees things because of the simple fact that I'm not him, just like his story to that friend. I asked him to please just behave and let me enjoy the 4 days holiday I've left or to go home, but he told me that he also deserves this holiday and will pay me back everything so that I could shut up with saying that I paid for the holiday and deserve some peace.
You guys need to break
I'm almost
up.
thinking that I need to call the hotel security to just take him out of this room. I don't know if
guys need
that
to
feels
break up.
necessary. This feels like
You guys
it's
need to break up
spiraling.
hardcore.
But if I do that, I know that this relationship is over. Yeah.
Whew.
Yo, dude.
I think
you guys,
it's when you start thinking about calling this hotel security on your partner, the relationship is over.
Yeah, this is
when you have
done.
that thought, it's
this
over.
is done.
Also, he said, "Oh yeah, you shut up and blah blah blah." You guys are over,
You guys are over.
over and out.
Yeah. Update 4. He plays the victim now, keeping his head low and doesn't really talk, like he doesn't dare. I'm not a fool and know that he does this to show that he is just a victim and I'm the meanie. I'm going to take advantage of this and going to do something fun for myself. Thank you for all the advice. By the way, if you want to do something fun for yourself, you should listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. I'm going to blast right through this end and get to update 5.
Woo.
He said he was sorry
He's not.
and that he will go to therapy for himself and for
What?
relationship therapy
What? He could afford therapy this whole time?
because he was lying. Maybe his friend called him out or he just realized it himself. Everyone is wrong sometimes. I'm also wrong on so many things in life, but everyone earns a chance to learn from mistakes and do better. I want to thank everyone again who gave me advice, both the people who agreed with me and the people who didn't. It gave me a lot of insight about my own behavior, about his, and to watch out for red flags. What our future beholds is still a mystery, but I'm glad that he is okay now to go to the therapist. We can now try to work out better versions of ourselves with the help of a therapist. Okay, I guess so. I don't know,
What?
dude. That
No.
was that.
Break up.
That felt.
You guys are not meant to be together.
I don't know, man. Y'all are very strong-headed people.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you think these two people should stay
Break
together
up.
or break up.
Yikes.
I think that is where
That's
that
a wrap,
story
folks.
and this episode ends. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you love us, make sure to subscribe
We love you
and see you tomorrow.